Rob Van Dam, listen to Tru Heel Heat. Pow.
Rolling, it's the Major League World Heavyweight Champion, your boy Hammer, Alexander Hammerstone, and you are turning in to Tru Heel Heat. And if you turn it off, I'll hit you with the Nightmare Pendulum.
You already know what time it is, man. The young goat in the building. Make sure you tune in to Tru Heel Heat podcast.
All right, ready when you are.
Hey guys, I may have go away heat, but these guys have Tru Heel Heat. So you better listen to the podcast or else I'm gonna kick you in your fucking cock and balls.
I'll get it.
Hello, people. Another Saturday, another week of wrestling to recap, and what a week it was. WWE Royal Rumble 2023 saw Cody Devontae Rhodes win it for the culture. It saw Rhea Ripley win it so she can peg some men. It saw the Bloodline prove once again why they are one of the greatest WWE storylines of all time. But is it the best? We'll discuss that. We'll discuss my boy, the Golden Star, the Golden Lover, Kota Ibushi, becoming a free agent. He's going to be in Los Angeles for Game Changer Wrestling. We got all that, plus a very special guest. Nate Milton returns to the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, the Saturday Cookout. Grab your plates, get it together. It's time for Tru Heel Heat 211. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Tru Heel Heat 211. Blood is not thicker than Sammy. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including whether the Bloodline saga is the best WWE storyline ever. Kota Ibushi becoming a free agent and getting his first non-NJPW bookings. Recap of the weekend wrestling with WWE Royal Rumble 2023 with the epic Bloodline angle and Cody and Rhea Ripley winning the Rumble matches. WWE Raw, SmackDown, AEW Rampage, Dynamite, New Japan Pro Wrestling, The New Beginning in Sapporo. Night 1 was this morning, as well as Stardom Supreme Fight 2023 and Impact on Access TV this week. Preview and predictions for NJPW The New Beginning in Sapporo Night 2 tomorrow and NXT Vengeance Day tonight, plus much, much more. Of course, it is Saturday, so you know the princess of all the Tru Heels is here with us, looking as beautiful as always. She's always here, Miss Krssi Luv.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Happy Saturday. I hope everyone is warm. Well, on the East Coast, it is a big chill on this side of town. So if you're in somewhere where it's very nice, God bless you, because I wish I was with you, friend.
God bless you, and bring some of that weather our way. And it's Black History Month, so I had to wear a Black Panther shirt, Black Panther 2 shirt. Wakanda forever.
Happy Black
And
History Month. Yep. As Whitney and Bobby said, it should be a longer month or the whole year.
Black History Year, since Cody is
You
going
don't
to
know about that?
WrestleMania.
You don't know about that wonderful video? You don't know what you're missing. It's one of the classics of them being together.
She's like, get on it. And of course, we got a very special guest here with us. This gentleman, you hear his voice over on Post Wrestling, as well as the NWA podcast with one of our good brothers, Professor Chris. He is the debonair, the leader of the culture of Devontae. He is Nate Milton.
What's good? What's good, SP3, Krssi Luv, everybody out there in Tru Heel Heat Nation. Good to be back. I got a busy schedule, but I had to make time. When SP3 reached out, had to make time, especially in this month. Like we make Black history every day. But in this month, we got to amplify it. We got to magnify it. And in the words of Jalen Rose, SP3, using the words of the OJs, we got to give the people what they want.
Gotta give the people what they want. Jalen Rose, Excalibur, whoever you want to quote with that. But yes, thank you all for joining us on Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. We appreciate you for joining us. And remember to show your appreciation back in the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. We had a huge month in the month of January. Over 700 subscribers who just joined on board to what we're doing here, and we appreciate that big turnout. We're trying to make February is Black History Month. Let's raise it. Let's raise the bar and let's hit that number once again. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We want to hear from all of you what you thought about this week in wrestling. Sound off. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling a little generous, you can send a super chat donation like the good brother Vala B did. Vala B starting early, with the 200 rubies super chat donation. No, that's $10.
That's $10. Okay, I
do the conversion.
I apologize.
I'm not gonna front like I'm that good at math with the conversion. I just know that yellow means $10. I just know that. With the super chat.
That means it's a good one. Then that's one of the good ones. Okay, so note to self: yellow means it's above 5, so maybe like $10. Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Vala V saying what it is, Tru Heel fam. It's been a while since I've been at the cookout, but here showing some extra love in a super chat. And welcome back to the show, Nate Milton. This has been a good wrestling week. Yeah, we discovered before we went live, this is the first time we got Nate and Krssi on camera together. Let's go. I love it.
Yep.
Look at that. Bringing Black folks together. This is what we do.
Nothing like Black History Month in a red cup.
You got the red cup. I got the Sprite. We covered.
Yeah, that's what you drink out. You either drink it out of the cup,
I got some
you drink
blue
it out
lemonade.
of the can. That's blue lemonade sounds amazing. Hey, drop a little Henny in there. It's gonna be an awesome night.
And anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
We got a comment from the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. He said it's Saturday morning, and you know what that means. What's up, Tru Heel Heat gang? We got DJ Eric saying, acknowledge a tribal chief of THH SP3.
Hey,
I appreciate that. I like that. That's a good one. And he also says, everyone bow down to the queen. Krssi Luv is here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Vala B knows the deal. He says Cody Devontae Rose repping Black history. Yes. Our civil rights leader bringing it home at the end of January as we enter February.
Right? Didn't he not? Man, listen, we didn't expect nothing but nothing less. Come on, guys.
Nothing but excellence from Devontae. We got the Negro Bug saying, good to see y'all as usual. Krssi and Sid, welcome back, brother Nate. We got Ness in the live chat. Ness found the right stream, even in the comments section this week. He said it's colder on the East Coast than a happy birthday post from Vince McMahon to Shane. Damn, that was cold. That was cold. Vala B shouting out the purple drink. We also got DJ Eric calling out Ness saying comment of the day. Yes, I agree. And CM calling us out saying y'all a mess. Yes, as always.
Already.
You know the deal.
That's how it is. 10 minutes in.
Of course. Before we get into anything, we got to send our thoughts and condolences because we did lose someone in the wrestling world, the wrestling community this week. Lanny Poffo, the brother of the Macho Man Randy Savage, formerly known as the Genius during his time in WWF. He spent a couple of different promotions, starting off in International Wrestling Alliance of the ownership, the promotion of his father, along with Macho Man Randy Savage. He had his stint in WWF where he was the manager for Mr. Perfect. Also had a series of matches himself. Always one of the most, smartest and kindest individuals. That's what anyone that's interacted with him has said. Any thoughts or any comments in regards to, losing Lanny Poffo this week?
Yeah, I found out about this, coming home from work the other day. And so it's like, I think Lanny is one of those dudes that, he's never going to be like top of mind just because of the era that he was in and the other people that were in the era that he was in. But he's always one of those guys, I think, that brings a smile to your face if you remember him. The matches, the Genius character was wild back in the day. I used to be a co-host on a show called Pipe Bomb Radio about 6 or 7 years ago. And one Christmas, my co-host, Felix Olmedo, booked Lanny Poffo. And Lanny Poffo, and this is how I knew, like I don't know, we don't know a lot about these people's real lives. Lanny could have been, had some of them terrible layer thoughts, but we don't know that, right? We can only interact with them on the level that we interact with them. And so he booked Lanny Poffo. So Lanny came on. Lanny was only supposed to be on for like 10 minutes, right? He was going to, promote whatever he was going to promote, read a snippet from the night before Christmas, and then bounce. Lanny's like, I got 10 minutes. That's all y'all going to get. We like, cool. My man, the Genius thing, came on and proceeded to not only do the entire night before Christmas play, he read the whole story, but then he talked to us for like another 20, 30 minutes about how he came up with the poems and, time he spent with Randy and all this other stuff. And it's like, he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't paying him. We were, relatively nobodies to this dude. And he was generous with his time. And so that's one of the things that I remember personally from Lanny. It's like, whenever I'd hear him on other people's shows, whenever I see him do interviews, it's like, this is a guy that gets it. He gets that connection. And so, yeah, he wasn't the biggest star in the world, Krssi, but I think that if you had a chance to kind of connect with the dude, he left you with a smile.
Yes.
I also think that, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I also think not also like the one of the nicest, but smart, very knowledgeable, knows a lot about the business, can probably teach and tell so many stories, like of even like before he got into WWF, like they probably have so much knowledge and information in their brain that they was able to like share with people, and it can go on for like ever. So yes, I definitely agree with you on all of that. They don't have to be the most popular wrestler, but they were a wrestler that left an impact.
And he wasn't bitter like so many of the old timers. They come across bitter or like jaded.
Yes, never,
he was always very open. At least that's what I felt.
Yeah, and I'm just happy, he was able to honor his brother. He inducted him into the Hall of Fame in 2015, and he wasn't just knowledgeable in the wrestling business, which he really was. He was knowledgeable just in book smarts. He was just a smart guy overall, and that's what the Genius character made it so relevant and made it kind of as popular, is because it was a little bit of himself on camera. So definitely, shout out to anyone who has been affected by the death of Lanny Poffo, family, friends, or fans. Our thoughts and condolences to the Poffo family as well. But we just wanted to let that be known at the top of the show. Before, of course, we let you know we appreciate all of y'all for joining us here. You can sound off in the live chat, sound off in the comments down below if you're watching on demand. And we start things off with our Tru Heel.
Quick question. Yeah. Where were you guys when you found out they were brothers?
I was young. I knew that when I was young because I always used to say they looked alike. Yeah, I used to always say that. So I think I was in my like teenage years when I was found out that they were brothers.
No, I think I was much older. I didn't correlate the two, put two and two together. I always thought Randy Macho Man was a black man, to be honest.
He got you. He fooled you with that Johnny B. Bad type of swagger.
He fooled me good.
Yo, that is still one of the greatest moments of the Kings of Sport ever. Is when Marcus Vanderberg found out Mark Merrill was not a black man.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that took me until I was a little bit older for me to realize that Mark Merrill wasn't a black man.
Morning.
Yes, Harlem is here, and
I'm not even lying to you. I swear, I would have bet you lying, son. I'd be like, Donald Trump, where's the birth certificate? I don't believe it. Where's the parents? So yes, definitely didn't know until I was like a certain age. I was like, they're white. Wow. Okay.
Yo, and he was so good that nobody got mad about it when we found out. We like,
that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Nate. Thank you.
Nah,
Thank you.
It's totally
okay. Yeah, like we accepted that. Like we took it and like, it's okay. Like it's fine.
You can still come to the cookout.
Yeah, you gonna still rock it out with us. It's cool. just had to ask that, because I was like,
you want to show everybody how you grab mommy's lipstick and now you got it all over your face, looking like the Joker. And you got milk on your face, so it's a combination now. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, Harlem.
Harlem's here. She says send super chats. She needs bigger diapers. All right. That was the Harlem Heat section, y'all. But yes, we gotta start things off with the Tru
Can you
Heel,
dig it?
the Tru Heel Roll Call. We're gonna shout out everyone who's supporting us on social media, the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, as well as our Patreon backers, our top 3 conversation starters on the Tru Heels group page. Coming in at number 3, once again, is the Negro Buck Nick Jackson. Coming in at number 2 is Stewie Palmer. And coming in at number 1, once again, is Alan Weinstein. 3 weeks in a row, ALW. Okay. I'm impressed. Okay. I'm impressed. All right. They were moving Negro Buck from his top spot now that he has a full-time job.
Yeah, he's slacking.
Our Patreon backers, we got ALW there, we got Nick Jackson, Vala B, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, You My Boy Blue, Yachty, Robert, Steve, Antoine, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, Dan, Kobe, Queen Monet, Dolores, John Martin, and DJ Eric. Thank you all for supporting us at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. We got exclusive content over there. We do our Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship, and we got giveaways and stuff like that coming in 2023. So stay tuned for that. Everybody shouting out Harlem in the chat. Harlem bringing the heat as per usual. We also got another super chat donation from Vala B. He's like Harlem gets a super chat. You asked Harlem asked for a super chat. He's like, I gotta give one for Harlem as well. Thank you, Vala B. She appreciates. She need bigger diaper. Her ass is getting big.
Harlem's a draw.
The true draw. Dolores saying hey, either to us or to Harlem. Negro Buck saying, and there's your weekly dose of Harlem Heat. And also he sends a super chat donation to us saying, Krssi, I have bills to pay. Let me slack a bit. We thank you, though. We thank you. You have bills to pay, but you still sending us a super chat donation. We appreciate that, good brother. That's why you're one of the good ones. I love it. But let's get into the wrestling. I did see something as a tweet before we get into the wrestling. Nate, you trying to come at my family? You trying to come at my family? Because I don't think you know. I don't think you know, good sir. The reason why I want Kyrie Irving, who just requested a trade. I didn't get to talk about it yesterday. We did the first edition of Tru Heel Heat Check over on the Sports channel.
You're trying to make. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We did the first episode of Tru Heel Heat Check, our NBA basketball podcast, over on the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. And then minutes later, my family, I don't know what I would call him, my cousin, something like that. My cousin, Kyrie Irving, he requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. So he's going to come to the Los Angeles Lakers. It's only right. It's only right that we bring it all together. We get Kyrie with LeBron, back with LeBron, with Anthony Davis. He always wanted to play with. And most of all,
he gonna go over there and do shit. I'm telling you, go ahead.
You get him on the team that I love because he's my family. I'm gonna pull back the curtain because Nate don't know. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. My nephew actually goes out with Kyrie's sister, so we family.
Okay.
We family.
I see it.
We family, in my opinion. So that's why I heard you calling me out in the tweet saying it's not good for my boy SB. No, it is good because we got to bring a family together.
Nope. Matter of fact, no. Let his ass go. Let him go. He ain't gonna do shit over there anyway. Like he ain't did shit over here. That's fine.
Yo,
This the most entitled. You know how he's just like Bray Wyatt. He's the most overrated rated person that shows up to work and do nothing. There you go. Just like Bray Wyatt.
This man is an all-star. This man's an all-star. What are you talking about?
All-stars do nothing too. You just show up. That's fine.
Yo,
that's fine.
Here's the thing, SP3. Here's the thing.
Like, let them go. It's fine.
At best, Kyrie to the Lakers is a temporary fix. At best. LeBron ain't getting no younger. AD ain't getting no healthier. Like, you got a 2-year window with Kyrie is what I'm saying. What do you got to give up to get Kyrie?
Right.
We gotta give up Russell Westbrook. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with giving up Westbrook.
Another person that shows up and does nothing. Sorry. All-star my ass. Shows up, gets paid all the money.
Bala B, all I will say is that you should have heard the rant that I had to my missus last night when the show was over and that news dropped. I was like, my family got to keep me in the inside track, y'all. As Bala B said, you were supposed to have the inside track on this news and feed it to Jeremy and me so we can roll for a day. But
let his ass go. Yep.
I am so offended. I am very offended.
You look hurt. Like you look like you want to.
Because you're disrespectful. You're disrespectful without looking at the numbers. This man is averaging 27 points a game.
Okay.
5 rebounds, 5 assists on. Oh my God! Look at these numbers.
That's when he shows up to work.
49% from the field. 37% from threes.
Nate laughs because he know I'm right. That's why
he's averaging 88% from the free throw line, and you are disrespecting him. You're so disrespectful. You're so disrespectful.
I didn't say anything that wasn't true. You can go. Go ahead.
Yes, you did.
Let him go. He shows up and does nothing.
You say he don't show up for work. He's played 40 out of 51 games. That's a lot compared to everybody else.
Kyrie got a lot of PTO. He got a lot of PTO is what we're saying.
Hey, that's a lot compared to Kawhi
last year.
Leonard.
So of course he should be great right this year.
Well, he had to make a point. He was trying to make a statement, y'all. He was trying to make a statement.
Sure.
We do have
the question is,
go ahead.
If Kyrie gets traded before the trade deadline, will we see Kyrie at Mania? That's the question.
No, he's got to stay rested. He got to stay rested, and he got to play the game. That's why I'm trying to get my way to go to LA so I can sneak and go to a Laker game while I'm out there. That's the real
kill
goal.
2 birds with 1 stone.
Right.
Exactly.
I see it.
3D chess, y'all.
See the
Negro
vision.
Bug with a super chat donation. Thank you so much for another super chat donation, good brother. He says, Sid, how do you feel about the last episode of The Challenge? My heart broke for Olivia and Horacio. Oh my God, that was one of the most OD things I ever see. One of the most heartbreaking things I ever seen in a challenge episode. They're in the finals, and they had this challenge where homegirl first, she rips her finger open and it starts bleeding, so they have to wrap her up. So she's injured already. She got a broken finger. And then they have to do this challenge where they have to like slingshot a golf ball into like and make a hole in this like net that's like 100 feet away. So she's at a disadvantage already because she can't do it with both hands because of the injured finger. And homegirl has it, and they linger on the shot too. So you know something bad's about to happen. The golf ball is hanging out the thing, and then she lets go. And the golf ball snaps back and hits her right between the eyes. Literally, if it went to the left or went to the right, she would have been blind. She would have been blind. And MTV didn't have her have goggles on. So it hits her in between the eyes, and her nose is completely broken. It instantly went on impact. You have to watch it. It's on the MTV, the Challenge YouTube channel. So watch it after you're done watching this show. course. Unless you got another screen and you want to hear
Right.
about, or go to my Twitter account where I posted the video.
Okay,
but
let me go to your Twitter account then.
It hits her right in between the eyes. Her nose shattered. All you see is blood pouring out, and she has a broken
She's already
nose.
lost. She's done. She's
they literally had to medically disqualify her. Her partner tries to go back and he's like, I'll do extra work. We're in the final. He was like, I want to win it for her. And the producers is like, nah, she's gone, so it's over for you. He starts crying. It's so heartbreaking because they were rookies and they made it to the finals after the homeboy was in 5 eliminations. He set the record for a male elimination wins from Wes, who got it all the way back in 2005. He set a record that was 18 years in the making, and then they lose like that in the finals. It's a must-watch challenge episode. Thank you for that super chat donation.
Wow.
Because
the drama.
I'm about to say the drama like the end.
This is why I watch reality television, y'all. This is why I watch it. But almost a half an hour into the show, let's get into some wrestling.
Speaking of drama.
Speaking of drama, let's talk about the Royal Rumble 2023. Of course, we got to talk about Royal Rumble. We got to talk about Cody Devontae Rose, who made his return at the number 30 spot to win the men's Royal Rumble match after last eliminating Kota, who set the record for the longest time in a traditional Rumble match at 71 minutes. Cody Rhodes punches his ticket to WrestleMania 39. You also had Rhea Ripley. She started off at number 1, and for the first time in the women's Royal Rumble history, she became the first woman to win from the number 1 spot, eliminating 7 women along the way, and she punched her ticket for WrestleMania by setting the record for longest time in a women's Royal Rumble match. Last 3 was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, who was number 2, who also set the record for women, second place now by 1 second from Rhea Ripley, and Asuka, this new Asuka, the Kana Asuka, from Japan, bringing it back here.
Yes.
Great look. But Rhea Ripley, in the end, got the win with one of the best finishing sequence in a Rumble matchup as well. Yes. On the other end of the spectrum, though.
Listen,
Bray
don't
Wyatt.
do that. That's not. You don't see.
Bray Wyatt.
Just say SP is doing that because he didn't like it. Okay. Me
Bray
and Uncle
Wyatt
Dave, we loved it.
Yeah, Uncle Dave gave it 3/4 of a star. Absolutely.
You know why? Because he wasn't
didn't give
high.
it a
He
dud.
didn't understand. He didn't understand it. See, Uncle Dave was like us. We knew to take it right before that. Me, Ness, and Uncle Dave, we was lit. We was ready for it. We enjoyed it. See, he didn't like. He couldn't appreciate the art that it was. That's why he wasn't digging
Bray
it.
Wyatt beat LA Knight in a god awful Mountain Dew.
Wow, not god awful. See these words of slander. Like, see that? Okay, now the ending. Now that part. Now that was awful.
Uncle Howdy.
That was awful.
On
that part,
on the coffin drop from the stands on LA Knight. But then you had Roman Reigns defeating Kevin Owens to retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And then post-match, one of the best angles in WWE history as the Bloodline jumped KO until Sami Zayn stepped in front of his former friend and told Roman Reigns he's better than this. Roman decides to hand a steel chair to Sami. Sami was hesitant, so Roman smushed him in the face a few times, trying to motivate him, asking him if he wanted to go back to that jackass crap. But Sami eventually made his choice, swung the chair, and decided to nail Roman Reigns in the black like his name was Seth Rollins in 2014. And before apologizing to Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso pulled the trigger first, hitting Sami with a super kick. But Jey, he couldn't bring himself to attack his brother, Sami Zayn, and he decided to walk out on his family, and instead of the Bloodline destroying the former honorary Uso, as Jey Uso ran off with Roman Reigns saying that Sami Zayn broke up his family. Nate, what did you think about the Royal Rumble book ending with that men's Royal Rumble match, and then that excellent, brilliant Bloodline segment? What did you think?
Yeah, that was a great recap of the Royal Rumble SP3. Only thing is, like, I don't know if you put it together or if Romeo put it together, whoever, but there was a glaring omission. But I'm gonna let it slide. Y'all didn't have Nia Jax up in there because that to me was one of the biggest moments of the Royal Rumble.
That they failed.
Hashtag nihilist. You know what I'm saying? Brought her back to the stage.
Because we got the excellent theme song. She's not like most girls.
Hey.
Lucky for me, I'm not like most girls.
The percussion, Krssi, the composition of that song.
It's so
great.
It's a bop. It's a bop.
Even though they messed up her whole like surprise. One, two.
They really did. They messed
up the surprise. Two. She got eliminated and didn't even last long. Like, why make her number 30? I'd rather you have put her in the middle, like Brock Lesnar, and have her go early.
Okay.
She could have tossed out at least one or two people,
right? Like you may, and then like I felt like it was like, do you know how you have like that girl that was probably like suspended from school, or she was like, you know, like she was out for a while, she was sick,
right,
and then she came to school, and then all of like the new girls. Like
she's been gone for a minute, like, but then now she bounced back.
She didn't bounce back like
bounced back.
No.
She bounced when Rhea Ripley tried to slam her.
Yeah, you know. See, you look at the other. You look at the the critical things. We're not looking at those things. So you want to like.
See, I'm just speaking from the heart. What resonated with me as a viewer?
I figured number 30 would have been someone else of much, bigger grandeur.
It was weird.
From the bloodline, but hey, like that's just me. I would have booked it a different way.
Hey, she is from the bloodline. She's a part of the bloodline.
She's a part. They had the most two people that was in the bloodline that shouldn't have been there, but they was there. But it's okay.
Hey, you can't choose, family. You can't choose, family.
You can't really like. We can't. Hey, listen. The bloodline people that was there, that was not there. They know who they are. We have to remain her nameless, but no one else seems to care. So that's fine. Maybe she doesn't want to do this no more. Maybe we should just leave her alone.
I don't know how we're talking about Nia Jax. It's Nate, I blame you. But
hey, I bring the topics to the table that the people want to talk about. I'm a truth teller, SP3. That's what I do.
Gotta give the people what they want, like you said. But yesterday, what did you think about Cody getting the win, going to WrestleMania, and then the Bloodline segment that ended things off on the show?
I think it was great bookends to the show. I feel like with Cody, with Cody, like I saw a lot of people saying, it might have been a little predictable, whatever. But just because something is predictable doesn't mean it's the wrong choice. Like there's a reason
right.
I'm telling you a story. It's to get to the ending. So it made sense for me for Cody to win. Was excited to see him back, man. Like,
were you happy with his number placing, friend? Would the people want to know?
Yeah, I think I was, only in the instance that it made sense if Sammy wasn't going to be in the Rumble. Because I feel like if Sammy was in the Rumble, then you have a bit of friction there with the audience. But since Sammy was, removed from that, I feel like Cody coming out, giving him the full Cody entrance and all this good stuff, it worked for me. It's also something that you can use later if you want to plant a seed. Like everything was kind of set up for Cody, handed to him. You know what I'm saying? You had the prime spot. You got behind your daddy's name. Those are things a heel could easily use as ammunition down the line to get back at Devontae. So it's like I'm, and maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but given the way they've done the Bloodline storyline, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they're thinking a little bit more forward with their storylines these days. But yeah, Cody, and he's still got a good reaction. Like people are like, they're gonna boo Cody. Cody ain't as hot as he used to be. They forgot. Roy Jones Jr. said they must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot about this man, Cody Devontae Rose, what he did to get to this point. The pectoral muscle looking purple.
When he became black for a night, he had the black titty.
He looked like a cup of that Wakandan purple drink. His chest all bruised and battered. And Cody brought it back.
It does look like the vibranium. No?
The vibranium juice.
There we go. Yep, there we go.
It looked like Mountain Dew Pitch Black. That's what
it looked like the Pitch Black. Yes, that's what I was thinking. You said
Cody's a businessman. He put the clues together.
And he drank it too. He just said
long-term storytelling,
Yes.
y'all. That was Cody. That was what Cody
And
was
to like, I know y'all talked about it last week on the show, but I like Sammy. Like, everybody likes Sammy. Sammy's been doing some of the best work of his career. But to anyone who thinks there is a chance that Sammy will get the belt before Devontae, you're crazy. Like, Sammy is not who this story has been set up for.
Right, it's a seed that's been planted. Now it's blossoming and blooming, and we're gonna let it just flourish.
Correct. Yeah. It's not Sammy's time yet.
It's not Sammy's time yet. It's going eventually, yes, but not right now.
But right now it's Devontae time.
Right, there you go.
I'm gonna stand firm on my hill and just say that I don't want Devontae to win at WrestleMania. Roman gotta get to 1,000 days. Roman gotta get to 1,000 days. That's money right there. That's more money than what Cody as champion will give WWE. Is Roman getting to 1,000 days?
You have to. All you have to do is have a T-shirt that says 1,000. That's it.
And plus, you have to give Cody some type of, mountain to climb. This feels too easy.
He's been to the mountaintop.
No, SP3. He hasn't been to the mountaintop. He's been on the podiums doing his "I Have a Dream" speech for what seems like 6-7 years, but he hasn't been to the mountaintop. He has no adversity at all, it seems like, in his WWE return. It's just been all gift wrap for him.
It feels like Krssi, I think part of the issue here, and again, I understand SP3's point, but I feel like part of the issue that makes this a bit difficult is we have the unified titles.
Yes, that's what it is.
There's only one guy that we can beat to get the belt. So, like, I feel like this would be an easier kind of story to tell if
the transition one belt to the other, one go this way and one go to Raw.
Y'all know what I'm going to say, because I've been saying it all week on my Twitter account.
Go ahead, friend.
Triple H had a freaking layup, and he decided to shoot from half court again because they had the layup. This has been written in stone from the Cody's first promo back on the Raw after WrestleMania. He wants the WWE title. So why not on this past week's Raw didn't Cody just challenge for the WWE title? That was the way to split the titles, was Cody's built-in whole thing is about the WWE Championship. It's not about both titles. It's not about the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. It's about the WWE title for him.
So that's the Raw one then, right? The black one?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, Cody got to represent the black title.
You got to get the black one. Exactly. Civil rights needed. Long term.
Levels to this.
Levels to this, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
Okay, guys. Sure.
We got Vala B says Cody still sells merch and is still cheers. He's been to the mountaintop. That's another reason why I don't think he should be the guy that ends this Roman reign. Is because it's about Cody winning the title. It's not about ending Roman's reign. It should be
about the reign. Yeah,
it should be about the end of the reign and elevating the person that beats him. That's why I think Sammy's a better option than Cody, because I don't feel Cody beating Roman really elevates him that much.
It won't change anything.
It doesn't elevate him as much as it elevates Sammy, but it does. Like, and again, this is convoluted because it would be so much easier if he was just going after the WWE title, Krssi. But I feel like the story that Cody has been telling, like, I'm doing this for my daddy. Like, my daddy never got this. You know what I mean? Like, it will mean something to Cody and for the story on an emotional level, but it doesn't elevate Cody in a way that it would elevate Sammy. But again, I don't think Sammy's getting it. Not now.
I don't think so either. I definitely don't think so now. We got Negro Buck who says, "Yeah, Sid, I don't know why they didn't do that. Triple H had 2 layups with the Rumble winners and kind of airballed both of them."
Oh my God!
We'll get to that when we get to we'll talk more about Rhea Ripley winning the Women's Royal Rumble when we get to talk about Raw. AJ Marshall saying Cody versus Roman should be for the WWE Championship. It only makes sense. We also got Annika who says Sammy is the heel. This is why females don't trust your female best friend. Because they're all gonna have influence over you, just like Cole had influence over him against a bloodline. Gotta love it. Yeah, Sammy getting in the way, but all the eyes were, of course, backstage, were on this Bloodline segment that ended the show with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. According to a new report from Fightful Select, the angle which closed the pay-per-view after the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match was a curtain sellout, and that the wrestlers and the staff were surrounding the backstage monitors, silently watching how it played out. Speaking of backstage reaction at the Royal Rumble, Fightful Select reports that the mood backstage was very laid back, according to one source who noted that many roster members' children were backstage having a good time. On the other end of the spectrum, though, most people the site spoke to scoffed at the Hardy live performance and felt
that should have been at the beginning.
And felt as if it compromised things. The show went slightly over time as well, going about 12 minutes past the scheduled 4 hours. Fightful Select reports that Vince McMahon was not backstage at the show, and that according to one talent that they've spoken to, the process of the Rumble itself was the easiest that it's been in quite a while, and that
it looked like it was, though.
Yeah, far less changes.
Sorry.
Last minute, the talent added that this year's Rumble was a dream compared to the very hectic situation at last year's show, and NXT talent were more optimistic due to the ban from last year on the brand's talent being in the Rumble match was done away with. It was noted that according to those that the site has heard from, the atmosphere in WWE is more laid back on a day-to-day basis, and one of the few reminders of Vince McMahon is the Vince's office directional sign that is still backstage since long before he left, though it points to a different section of the backstage area. And one source said that there isn't a sense of anyone being afraid of bringing him up, but that most people having asked that much since the meeting that was held after McMahon's return, where Nick Khan, Triple H, and Kevin Dunn made assurances that McMahon is not being involved in creative or talent relations. PW Insider reports that WWE is said to be extremely happy with this past Saturday's Royal Rumble event, and they are also thrilled with the Peacock viewership, which is reportedly much higher than last year's show. It was actually said to be the most watched Royal Rumble event in company history. Triple H previously said that at the post-show press conference that the live gate at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio was the highest in the event's history, and he added that WWE had their highest sponsorship numbers for the show as well. But talking about what we started off, talking about that Bloodline segment and just all the success that WWE is doing, whether it's with the Royal Rumble, we'll talk more about the success of that show, but ratings were up for Raw last week, and this week did a big number as well, as we'll get into. SmackDown's been having huge numbers for last week's show. I'm sure last night's show will have big numbers as well, and a lot of that is down to the support of this whole Bloodline saga going on with Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman, along with Kevin Owens. So my question for
the supporting actors are doing their thing as well. This is why they give awards to those guys, because without that cast, there'd be no main actors. Like the supporting cast is like doing their thing. The whole the whole is just like wow.
So my question to y'all, I put it I put it on the title here, so you guys knew I was gonna ask if you checked. Is the Bloodline saga the best WWE storyline of all time ever? Is it the best? Nate, I'll go to you first.
I mean, it's certainly in the conversation. Like the knee-jerk reaction would be to say yes. But I don't want to become a prisoner of the moment, you know, because we're in this right now and it's exciting and you're following week to week in a way that you haven't in years. And so I don't want to be clouded by recency bias. But I'll say, like, immediately when I'm thinking about storylines over the years that I've been watching WWF/WWE, it's in the top 5 easily. You know, you're talking McMahon Austin, you know, you're talking Daniel Bryan, the B+ player story. You know, you're talking Kofi Mania. You know, we in February got to shout out Kofi Mania. You know, you're talking, you know, probably something with The Rock in it that I can't think of. So it's in that echelon. And I think
you can go back further even too, like other storylines that were like
See, the further we go back, the problem with that, Krssi, is the further we go back in WWF history, the closer we get to Terry. And I'm not trying to give Terry no credit. Not in February.
Oh,
no,
I wasn't talking about Terry. I was actually going to talk about like Macho Man and Jake the Snake story.
Ooh,
that was a great one. The whole snake biting of that was actually some good story. You know, that was actually good. We're not going to Terrence from Florida. We're not.
I'm sorry though. I gave it on Twitter, and I'll say it here. These are my top 5 of all time. I'll give you my top 5 of all time. And because it's Black History Month, I'm going to rate him the lowest of that top 5, but it deserves to be mentioned. Terrence from Florida, Macho Man Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth, the Mega Powers explode. That's one of the greatest angles of all time.
I thought the man was mad because, you know, this black man had this white girl. I'm telling you, I thought it.
Yo, that gives that story so much more resonance, Krssi.
That's what I'm saying.
That has layers to it.
Sorry. I was 4.5, almost 5 when
WrestleMania 5 happened.
The rest of his life. The WrestleMania 5 was the Mega Powers exploding. That's like, I'm a 5-year-old who didn't like. I don't know. I don't understand like what the I thought he was like me. He was light skinned. Like I didn't like. What you want me to do? I know Terrence wasn't one of us, so you know. CM.
You know, I love you in the chat. I love your comments and takes. But how old were you in 1988, 1989, saying we saw that come? How you saw that coming when you were in your mom's womb? You saw that coming? The fuck? I know you ain't that old.
And like me watching that as a child, like it was like, oh my god, he's trying to break up this family, and then you was like, but no, then you wanted to root for her to be like, well, maybe she doesn't, maybe she's not happy, she wants to get out of this relationship. I don't know, but you know, I'm a 5-year-old and I'm just watching like, oh my god, what's happening? Like this is great stuff.
And cut it out, Negro Bug. I know you weren't even born. Yeah, he says, the Mega Powers was a good storyline, but that was all Elizabeth and Macho Man doing the heavy lifting. No, I'll give credit to Terrence in Florida. He had the lust in his eyes and the little subtle things.
He wanted to steal her away.
Elizabeth's ass and stuff, and
picking her up,
the spotlight.
Like she was like light as a feather. Like I can pick her up better than you. Like she's gonna sit on my shoulder. Like like things like that. There's layers to that stuff. Like you just peel it back, and you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like
now I'll bring it a little bit forward to a more recent memory. Number 4, Batista and Triple H, the end of Evolution. That week to week, that was drama on the level of what we're seeing with the Bloodline.
Batista was a low key was a hater, but that's
No. Low key, Triple H was trying to keep him under his thumb. That was
that's
the whole story.
That's true. He saw him like spraying away like he was this is my child. They're growing up, and I'm gonna keep him at home close to me. Things like that. So yes,
I saw the tapes. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as what is going on. I saw it coming because I saw it coming. Yeah, I had a tape that said Mega Powers explode, and I saw the storyline coming. Of course,
I bet they finna explode.
But number 3, I go Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels in 2008. I was gonna say Shawn Michaels. I was gonna say Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho because that was the highlight. But if you just look at his entire 2008 of
run,
the whole Ric Flair retirement storyline with him ending.
The Ric Flair retirement storyline's another one too.
Yeah, him retiring of Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24, and then Batista being salty about it because you retired his mentor, and them feuding with each other, with Chris Jericho getting involved and antagonizing the whole situation, and then eventually calling Shawn out for cheating, and then the fans still cheering for him, and then the Chris Jericho heel turn and their feud, and how dramatic.
And you're gonna make me go back to 2008, man.
Dude, I want to go back and watch it because I've been talking about it this week. All
right, let's set it up. Let's set it up. So we can watch it. Okay, let's set that up.
Then you have Michaels and Jericho. That splinters off to Michaels becoming broke and being the servant.
Right.
And that is into Michaels and Undertaker's first match at WrestleMania 35. So Shawn Michaels 2008 to 2009.
25.
Huh?
You said 30.
WrestleMania 25, my bad.
Yeah.
But that whole 2008 to 2009 for Shawn Michaels, that was one of the best storylines.
That's a good one.
The top 2, I'm gonna say for now, number 2, the Bloodline saga, because
Okay.
it feels like we are watching an Emmy award-winning performance every
Oscar,
single
man.
week. You're on
This
the
is
edge of your
Oscar.
seat. You're looking
Mhm.
for little facial details, little
Mhm.
facial expressions. You're looking for little character details. You're looking for
Mhm.
little moments that you could come back into your mind and talk about and stuff like that. So it's so great. It makes you pay attention to everything on screen. So this Bloodline saga, regardless of how it ends, how it finally blows off, I think it's already number 2. And I agree with Nate. Number 1, though, is Austin and McMahon. That changed the business, and it helped WWF stay in business and beat WCW in the Monday Night Wars. So the Bloodline saga literally has to go far and beyond to blow this off the proper way for it to eclipse Austin and McMahon.
I like your top 5. Those are undoubtedly like one of like the stories. Yes, and you have like your other underlying champs that are like in the back if you want to do like 10. But for top 5, I could definitely see that as a top 5. Yes, for sure.
Will Chesum, I had this conversation as well. He says, where do we put this storyline when it comes to all wrestling company in all time? I would have to see all wrestling company of all time. So that's why I'm literally making it into the perspective of WWE.
You have to keep it just in this category.
Your mind will explode if you think about everything else. The only things that I would put on the level of Austin McMahon and this Bloodline saga, as far as like outside of WWE, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, just their whole rivalry. That's one of the best ones that I ever remember. The NWO up until Starrcade 1997. That has to be up there and has to be in the conversation. Raven versus Tommy Dreamer from ECW, that has to be in the conversation. So just to give you some perspective, because I do like that comment there.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a storyline that nobody will probably remember, like maybe SP3, because you've been looking at these tapes, like the Mega Powers exploding. But there was a feud in the USWA, I want to say, back in the day, and I remember because it used to come on ESPN like in the afternoons after school. Steve Austin, before he was Stunning Steve Austin, versus Gentleman Chris Adams. And it was Chris Adams was Steve Austin's trainer, but then Steve Austin stole Chris Adams' ex-wife. And it was messy, Krssi. It was drama, and I loved it.
Okay.
I like it.
Austin always in the middle of something, huh?
He is always in the middle of something.
That's a good shout as well from CM, the Golden Lovers saga with Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. That's the first kind of like gay storyline in professional wrestling. So that changed the game. Yeah,
and it was done well.
Really?
Negro Buck, the 2 from AEW that I would put is the Hangman saga with the Elite, as well as CM Punk and MJF. Those are the ones that I would put into that conversation if we're talking about AEW. We got Call to Life Ministry saying, have you noticed the similarities between this title picture with Roman, Sammy, and Cody and the one in 2004 between Triple H, HBK, and Benoit? Could WWE be heading in the same direction here? I don't see the similarities, honestly, to be with you, because Roman and Sammy don't have the same type of rivalry as Triple H and HBK. It feels more like Bryan Orton, Batista from WrestleMania 30 more than it does Benoit, Triple H, and HBK. Do y'all agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I don't see the HBK, Triple H, and Benoit as like so impactful as these other stories. It was good, but I don't feel like it left like a stamp. Like, oh my god, this was like big. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's just more saying that he finds it similar in the.
Like you see the similar stories being told together.
Yeah. I see it more as the Bryan, where Sammy is playing the role of Danny O'Brien, the outlier.
Yes.
And you got the Batista and Randy Orton thing going on with Cody and Roman.
I can see that. Yes. Okay, that one.
Kota Light Ministries, though, he remembered that Adams and Austin. He was like, Austin stole Adams' wife.
Yes. And then Chris Adams had his new wife, and then the new wife was fighting with the ex-wife, and it was there was like a cage match. It was crazy, man. It was Memphis. or Dallas?
Yeah, Memphis, man. Memphis, Dallas, man. They get it popping. They get it popping, y'all. We got Will Scissor says, I hear a lot of New Japan fans say the Golden Lover storyline. That's why I asked. Yeah, the Golden Lover storyline is definitely up there. Shout out to CM for putting that in the chat. Dolores saying, where would you put Eddie versus Ray? I used to love that. Also, Pillman versus Stone Cold. I'll be honest with you, Eddie versus Ray, if you're talking about the 2005 WWE one, that has gotten better with age. At the time, not a lot of people would like that. Not if you were a fan at that time, it was very polarizing of people that really liked it, but it got ridiculous with the whole Dominic adoption thing.
Yeah. I think another thing too, SP3, when you look at the Bloodline, what to me sets the Bloodline story apart from a lot of these that folks is mentioning is the longevity, right? And the attention to detail. We're going on 3 years pretty much with this storyline and just the different ways where at first, yes, pandemic, Jay and Roman, we get main event, Jay Uso.
Yes, yep.
The brothers come back together. We get the Brock Lesnar part of the story. Whose side is Paul Heyman on?
Exactly. I feel like a lot of people sleeping on that because that was very compelling when it first happened. When Brock first comes back at SummerSlam and we don't know where Heyman's going to go, that was some good television.
Yep.
Yes, my tribal chief. Yes.
And, Paul Heyman is so good in this story.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Just his facial expressions. He's so good with that. He's so excellent with that. But Jay Uso's arc might be one of the best arcs of this whole thing because he starts off as the one guy who doesn't want to acknowledge Roman as the tribal chief, fighting against his own family because he finally has an opportunity in the main event at the World Championship. Then he's forced to acknowledge Roman after Roman basically lied and gaslit Jimmy into getting him choked out in the Hell in a Cell, making Jay quit. So he had to acknowledge Roman because of the pre-match stipulation. And then he becomes this, over time, this loyal soldier to his cousin. Then he eventually becomes so much of a loyal soldier, he brings Jimmy on board with him and convinces Jimmy to fall in line to Roman.
Right. Oh my God, you're so true.
They go on this
Jimmy
run.
has been the silent, the silent killer. Like he's been the sneak attack. Like he's been like that person that just been like, you didn't think to watch them.
Yes.
This is genius.
It is. It's so layered in everything.
Oh man, and then there's levels to this, man.
You got Sammy, who he was going through his own thing where he loses the Intercontinental Championship, he wins it back, then loses it again. He feuds with Johnny Knoxville. He's embarrassed at WrestleMania when Jackass fools him. Then he feels like he's lost all respect from
the whole conspiracy theory thing.
The only thing that he could do to gain respect back is basically become the nerdy guy who's trying to sit with the cool kids at the table, and all he really was at the beginning, he was Randall from Recess. He was snitching on Drew McIntyre and RK Bro to Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. Like, I acknowledge you, tribal chief. Let the locker room leader help you. Let me help you. Anything you can do. He appointed himself as the locker room leader. Anything I can do for you, just let me know, and I got it. And then he eventually starts wearing the Bloodline shirt. He's trying to help out the Usos. Then that's when Jimmy's like, you know what? I like Sammy. You're the honorary Us. And they start doing the handshake with each other. All the while, Jay's not feeling any of this because he's like, dude, I had to go through a lot to even get to this point. So I'm not with this. You were trying to use my family. I can see through you. Everybody else, Roman's cool with him after a while. Paul Heyman's like, I'll just accept he's here. I don't really like him, but I'll accept he's here. Solo even comes on board and he's all right with Sammy after Sammy takes a steel chair shot for him. All the while Jay's like, I don't care what the tribal chief says. I don't like this dude until Sammy proves himself in War Games. Gives him the win in War Games over his best friend, betrays his best friend for the Bloodline, and then Jay embraces him as a member of the group, as a friend. He's the one that was pushing on this December 16th episode of SmackDown in Chicago when Roman said it was going to be a big night for Sammy. He was finally going to be a part of the Bloodline. On that same episode, we get Jimmy, who's always been friends with Sammy, but now that Sammy's friends with Jay, Jimmy goes to Roman and he's like, hey, tribal chief, I love Sammy Uso. I love that, but you're my family. I love you. I love the Bloodline. So whatever you got to do, just let me know. So that's why Jimmy had to be the one to pull the trigger, because it even developed even more where Jay and Sammy then became brothers. Jay is the one that defends Sammy in the tribal court. He's the one that defends Sammy on the pre-show, and he can't bring himself to attack Sammy because he's grown to love Sammy when everything goes down at the Royal Rumble. It's like a Shakespeare novel that reads like.
It's betrayals inside of betrayals inside of betrayals.
Yes, it's like everyone, oh man.
Krssi said there's levels to this. It's so there's a level of thought and care to the storyline that you usually don't see on television, let alone wrestling, right? Like we're looking at like HBO Max level writing, Netflix level writing on like a damn WWE show.
Yes, everyone is running for the throne, and look what happens. Yep. This is it. You know how many? It was so many stories in Game of Thrones that you forgot who was really the damn person who the main issue was, which was with the fucking White Walkers. Am I wrong or am I right?
You telling the truth, sis. We got Valo B with another super chat donation. Thank you so much, good brother. Sir. We appreciate it. He says, God damn it, I still believe Jay is the main character here. He is the protagonist. That's why I said the perfect choice to end this Roman reign is either Sammy or Jay. It's one or the other. Those are the perfect two guys for the story they have told. Either one of them ending this Roman reign, I feel, is much better than Cody.
So there's two things. There's two things here. You know, and I'm listening. I'll be listening. SP3. I almost called you HP3, which is a totally different show. I've been listening. SP3. You said Jay or Sammy is the perfect person to end this story, and I agree 100%. But ending the story and taking the belts can be two different things.
Yes. We're not talking about. I don't think taking the belts. I think this ending the story.
Yeah.
And no, Romeo, let's all make sure to thank Hunter for this storytelling. No, Romeo, I'm sorry. You can't thank him when the table was already set for him when he comes into power. Sammy was already with the bloodline. Everything that I just did the synopsis of, a lot of that was Vince McMahon's work. Let's thank Vince McMahon. I want y'all to do that. Then if y'all can thank Vince McMahon, then maybe I can thank Hunter, Paul, whatever you want to call him. I'm about to mute you for thinking.
Look, another basketball analogy, SP3. Hunter is like Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, when he came to the Golden State Warriors, had Steph, had Clay, had Dre, had the blueprint
Vince
set
McMahon
up.
is Mark Jackson. Yes.
Vince McMahon is Mark Jackson. Mama, there goes that man.
100%.
Vince laid the foundation, whether we want to give him credit or not.
Exactly. You can't do nothing without the foundation being built for him. So I ain't thinking no Hunter until y'all think Vince McMahon. Sorry, y'all. He made it. He made it better, and he added more depth to it with pitting Sammy and Roman on camera together. So I'll give Triple H credit for that. But I can't not thank him because literally 75% of that Jey Uso arc that I just went through was Vince McMahon.
Yeah. And I think. And I know if Jermaine from Chicago, the notorious infamous hater, who I think we've all had interactions with, he's a good brother. He hates Roman Reigns to his core in a way that I can't quite comprehend. But you got to give Roman Reigns credit in this story, man. Like the levels, like you broke my family, or on SmackDown last night, where he's not on the microphone, he's just in Sammy's face, and he's like, "This is what you want. You set this up."
We're gonna talk about SmackDown, but we got gaslighting Roman back. That's why I'm happy. We got the gaslighter Roman back. But just a couple of more notes from the Royal Rumble. Thank you for that conversation, everybody in the live chat. You guys were awesome as we talked about this whole Bloodline saga, where it ranks as far as best WWE storylines. But we had
easily top 5. Like I think just to kind of put a pin on that conversation, like everybody's gonna have their own opinions, SP3, but I think it's got to be in the top 5.
I agree 100% with you. But Brock Lesnar made some news this week as well coming out of the Royal Rumble. Fightful Select reports that Brock Lesnar got heat over an unplanned spot following his elimination at this year's WWE Royal Rumble. After being thrown out by Bobby Lashley, Lesnar began to tear apart the ringside area at one point, and he tossed referee Eddie Ortega over the barricade. Lesnar lifting the stairs was not planned, nor was him throwing a piece of the announce table into the ring. However, it was expected that Brock might get a little crazy with his freak out, which was planned. The spot that got him the heat was throwing the referee over the barricade. It appeared at the time that the referee suffered a foot injury, but that hasn't been confirmed. He had to sell all the way to the back and miss an integral spot during the matchup. However, it was noted that the heat is a relative term for the beast incarnate. He's unlikely to face any consequences. Some people backstage were angry with him, but he won't be in any trouble. According to Wrestling Observer Daily Update from Dave Meltzer this week, WWE superstar Brock Lesnar is scheduled to be on this year's WWE Elimination Chamber 2023 event, and at this point Lesnar is not slated to compete in the chamber match itself. He's supposed to have a match at the event. Meltzer reported that on the Wrestling Observer radio this week that he only thinks he was told that Lesnar is not facing Gunther at WrestleMania this year. So that could mean Lesnar could face Gunther somewhere else, such as Elimination Chamber, maybe. WWE has teased Brock Lesnar versus Gunther before during the Royal Rumble matchup, the men's Rumble match, but Lesnar still appears to have unsettled issues with Bobby Lashley at the moment, with Lesnar recently costing Lashley a shot at the United States Championship on Raw 30, and also Lashley eliminating Lesnar from the men's Royal Rumble match last Saturday. What did you think about Brock's freak out at the Royal Rumble, Miss Krssi Luv?
I was happy that, Lashley was able to get a one-up on him after, being, treated like he can't beat this man. You're going to stop disrespecting Bobby Lashley, seriously. Y'all have to stop doing this. Letting Brock, job him and do all these things to him, nah, this is Bobby Lashley, a former champion. And I feel like it's only with him that he does this to. He don't do it to nobody else but Bobby Lashley.
What about you, Nate?
I was happy in that moment when Brock got tossed, because the only thing that would have made it sweeter is if instead of Bobby, it was Kofi that did it, man. Because Kofi owed this man one hell of a payback for the way he did Kofi on that first SmackDown on Fox, which was disrespectful to Kofi Kingston. But I love Bobby Lashley, man. Lashley is, like Krssi said, this is a dude who has reinvented himself since coming back. And he had to go through a lot of crap even when he came back, thinking about that stuff with Sami Zayn and his sisters, and, just the way Lashley, the Lana stuff, man. Yeah, just the way Lashley weathered that storm.
Weather the storm. Lemons and the lemonade. You want me to do this? Sure, I'll do this, boss. No problem. You want me
exactly,
to have
and I feel like
as my sisters? Sure, no problem.
He's like I had to do it all. I had to show my booty with Leo Rush and stuff.
Yes,
right.
I had to smack my cheeks every week. I feel like Lashley is like that dude, and Lashley and Lesnar to me is still a program that I think has a lot of juice to it. Fans are excited by that proposition, not only because of their wrestling history, but also because that was always like the rumored MMA fight that never happened and probably will never happen. So I think you can get a lot of mileage out of that. But it did make me laugh to see Brock doing his best Terrence from Florida impression, tearing up the ringside area after being eliminated. It made me chuckle.
That was a Terrence from Florida.
Be like a big toddler and have a big temper tantrum. Sure, go ahead.
Hey, that's what Terrence from Florida did in 1992 Royal Rumble, man. Sid Justice deserves justice for that. I watched that the other night.
Yeah, but Sid Justice doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, Psycho Sid.
We got about 84 of y'all watching across YouTube and Facebook. Remember to drop the thumbs up on the video. We appreciate the great turnout for this edition of the Tru Heel Heat Flash Hit podcast. And sound off in the live chat. We want to hear from all of y'all what y'all thought about the Royal Rumble. We're going to get into SmackDown, AEW, and much more. We just have a few more Royal Rumble notes. Royal Rumble was a huge success for WWE with numbers up across the board this year from last year, including the live gate and Peacock viewership. It had the largest live gate in the event's history, $7.7 million, with Peacock viewership up 52%. Merchandise sales was up 135%, and sponsorship revenue up 200%. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that traditional pay-per-view buys were also up with around 18,100. That is up 3.2% from last year's Rumble, but down from last year's SummerSlam that did 18,000, as well as WrestleMania that did over 20,000. Of those who brought the Royal Rumble, only 7.1% bought AEW Full Gear, and only 25.5% bought Survivor Series. Meanwhile, Google searches for the show were at 500,000, about the same as UFC 283. And in our final note from the Royal Rumble, Fightful Select reports that WWE had outstanding merchandise sales for none other than Cody Devontae Rhodes over the weekend. Cody Rhodes made his WWE return last Saturday, winning the men's Royal Rumble match, and the outstanding merchandise sales reportedly continued for Cody through Monday for Raw. So it was a damn lie. You heard the reception for Cody. You see the dashing sales numbers. He is a good choice to kind of be a future face of the company. I just don't think he should beat Roman at WrestleMania.
No, I really do. I agree with you 100%, friend. Yeah.
That's just me. That's just me. That's just me. We also had this week.
It's not there. Let them get to the. You have to have the whole point of this is like the streak. Like Michael Cole touched on it at the Royal Rumble. Like it's only what 4 people that he has to bypass to do this. Terrence is one of them.
He's 140 days. He's 140
I need him to bypass Terrence ASAP.
Yes, we do need that.
Well, he's 140 days from passing Pedro Morales, who had a 1,071 day reign back in the 1970s, y'all.
Wow.
This is rarefied air. He's about to hit. We gotta hit 1,000. I just feel like that's just good business. That's gonna put Roman on another level when he loses his title.
Yep. And then he has to make his way back up to the top. Like this is a part of the story. Hello, ding, ding, ding. Long-term storytelling. Once he loses these belts after the 1,000, now the family will be like demolished. Now he has to pick up the pieces. Where does Roman go from there? Does he have a losing streak? Does he just go be a nut job and just be a psychopath and just be like paranoid everywhere now? Like what happens now? You know, what's
I
the
think
next
he
part of
take some time off. This man been carrying this company for 3 years.
I said it last night on a review of SmackDown and Rampage, and I'll say it here. The thing to do is Roman loses the titles, and then Solo Sikoa is the one that destroys him. That destroys him, and the rest of the bloodline completely implode and completely jump Roman out of the group, because the whole red herring in this whole Solo Sikoa being in the bloodline was the reasoning behind him. It wasn't Roman that called for him to get called up to NXT. It was the elders that sent Solo to the bloodline. So you can say the elders sent Solo the message that Roman has lost control of the bloodline. He let Sammy in. It ruined the whole family. He doesn't have the championships. You got to take him out, remove him from the picture, and Solo becomes the leader of the bloodline.
Man, storytelling at its finest. Like this is a book, a trilogy. Like this could be like 3 books easy. Like,
and then that sets up the eventual babyface return and run that they wanted for Roman in the first place, where fans weren't buying it. It was too forced. It was too prepackaged. This is natural. This is organic, Krssi, because we've been through this story. So when he comes back, we want Roman to win.
Exactly. And the fans already want to cheer for Roman, really. Like, it wasn't until this whole Sammy thing that they really started getting, like, massive heat on him again. But I think it's very easy for him to become a babyface again. Yeah. We got Ford Cass here with us for the first time, saying first time listener, love the show so far, guys. I definitely don't want Cody to win over Roman yet. See, I agree. Yet. That's the key, because I feel like him coming up short at WrestleMania, it creates more of an investment from the fans of the chase of Cody eventually beating Roman. I feel like I would be okay with Cody beating Roman to end this reign if he loses on his first try.
Okay. And I don't totally disagree with your point, SP3, but I do think there is something to waiting too late to pull the trigger.
Right.
Like if Cody's whole story is I'm doing this for my daddy, I'm doing this, to reclaim our royal name. Wrestling has more than one royal family, SP3, and you lose on the biggest stage.
Well, he
you
lost
got to do a lot of work to kind of
AEW too.
rehab him.
I think it's very easy to do the work. Exactly. That's his catchphrase. He's gonna do the work to get back to Roman. Do the work.
Okay.
You're writing the promo for Cody already. Imagine the Cody promo if he comes up short, and they're gonna do a dusty finish as well, where Cody he pins Roman, but Roman's foot is under the ropes, and the referee doesn't.
Okay. Here we go. Raw after WrestleMania. Just Cody in the middle of the ring after he's lost, looking at my wife and my biracial daughter. I knew this wasn't going to be easy. It never is for people like us, but we keep fighting. We keep fighting. We have a dream. And that dream sometimes becomes a nightmare, but you have to keep fighting. We shall overcome someday.
I love it. I mean,
I'm on your side now, SP3. I'm on your side because I want the Devontae "We Shall Overcome" promo.
We shall overcome. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite this week.
This is great stuff. This is great shit. Like, I wonder if this is what they do at the table when they're writing this shit.
There we go.
This is some good stuff. Like, this is really, really good, man.
This is what you need to do. This is what we do on Saturdays, y'all.
Yeah.
AEW Dynamite this week, they did 901,000 viewers, so down from last week's 1 million viewers, but a hell of a show, top-notch in-ring wrestling on this show, and it was kicked off by Jon Moxley, Bloody Moxley as per usual, getting the win over Hangman Adam Page in a tremendous bloody fight of an opener with a damn wrestling move, which pissed off Hangman Adam Page, who wanted a decisive winner. And Jon Moxley did as well. We also had a technical wrestling clinic as Bryan Danielson had his latest obstacle before MJF at Revolution when he beat Timothy Thatcher with the running Psycho knee. His protege now, Konosuke Takeshita, pulled out his first big win on AEW Dynamite, defeating Brian Cage in a very good bout. He also then had the back of Brian during his match with Thatcher. When MJF came out, he started brawling with him to the backstage area. Now it's going to be MJF versus Konosuke Takeshita in an AEW World Championship Eliminator match next week. Jade Cargill hit number 50-0, defeating Red Velvet to retain the TBS Championship. And then you had a hell of a main event with Samoa Joe defeating Darby Allin in the end of their trilogy in an insane no-holds-barred main event to regain the TNT Championship for the second time. Post-match, Wardlow returned to go after Joe, trying to get some revenge, and we ended the show with Wardlow almost powerbombing a security guard onto a pile of other security guards, but like Nitro back in the day, they cut it off just in the midst of everything going on. I love it. I love that. That's a Nitro finish. I love it. Nate, what did you think about AEW Dynamite this week?
So Dynamite was something that I had to catch up with, after the fact, just because of work schedules. And again, like so much of my wrestling focus the past week was focused on that Bloodline stuff, man. Like they got the heat right now, and it's no shade to AEW because as you just read through that card and went back and watched it, phenomenal matches. But it just doesn't have the same kind of feeling right now. And it's no shade to AEW. Like they're not doing anything wrong. It's just this other thing is, it's like I'm like Steve Austin looking at Chris Adams' wife. Like this other thing does something for me, dog. It does something a little bit more extra for me. But I thought the Hangman and Mox, like, come on, you knew those guys was gonna bring it. I thought that was excellent. I've really been digging this Daniel Bryan story. Because I think it's time to pull the trigger on that. Speaking of, not waiting too late to pull the trigger, I think it's time to pull the trigger on, our man Daniel Bryan Danielson out here in these streets, DBD. I think it's time to give him that run. And then that Darby Joe match. Like, I think those two, like, just the physicality of it. And we know Darby's somebody that doesn't. Darby has the benefit of being young enough to not give a damn about what his body's going to feel like when he's 42. Like Darby don't care.
You mean when he's 32 in 2 years, man? This man
like Darby don't care.
Darby definitely does not give a damn. Like it's apparent. Like it's okay.
Throw him on some steps in the crowd. Oh my god, almost head
And
first.
they always throw him like a rag doll. Like he's already little and skinny. They just throw him like.
Yo, Joe threw him like Uncle Phil with Jazz.
Zelina Vega, like they always get thrown off like they're like dolls. Like I don't get it. Like nobody says, are you sure you want them to do this?
Yeah.
Like, sure. Throw me as hard as you throw me as long as you throw me long. Like
Sting, I'm gonna need you to talk to your stepson. Tell him to calm down just a little bit, player.
Facts.
I gotta see a comment here from the Negro Buck saying it was a good match. It was a great match. But why did we transition the belt back to Joe? I don't necessarily think that Joe and Wardlow's feud needs the TNT championship. It's not about that. It's about telling the story of Darby Allin, that he was burning the candle from both ends. Right. He just won the title on January 4th, and he had defended it 4 times. He defended against Mike Bennett, Juice Robinson, Kushida, Buddy Matthews. He went to Japan and did Great Muda's final matchup. Then he came back, beat Buddy Matthews. Then he has a match with Joe.
I hate that they gave it back to him. Like he was doing a great run.
But Darby, that was the most effective 1 month title reign that I think I've ever seen in wrestling. Like it revitalized Darby. Darby feels like he's a top guy again.
Yes.
But it told the story of what the TNT champion should be. The TNT championship should be a title that is defended very often, and that we don't know when the title is going to change hands. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole point of the title. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
It has to flip-flop around. That's the whole point. So all these guys can get say, hey, this guy's a champion now. Let him get 3 weeks of run. Then we give it to this one for 2 weeks. Like I making that title important. Got it.
Yes. And the fact that Samoa Joe was told a few years ago he was never going to wrestle again. WWE sat his ass behind an announce table, put a poncho on his ass in the rain at WrestleMania 37, and this dude has come back here.
Yes,
he's
stronger than ever.
The 2-time TNT champion, ROH television champion. I saw a tweet from our good friend Louis Dangor. I'm sorry, I got to pick on you again, Louis, because he had a tweet in August that said, "Oh, Samoa Joe is being booked weak in AEW. He would love to be back with Triple H in WWE." That aged like breast milk out in the sun for about 11 and a half days, Louis. That's one of your worst tweets ever.
Damn.
That is horrible tweet. I just had to call it out because it's so bad. We got Vala B says, I got nothing to say. Sid knows what I had to say for the TNT title. Yeah, it's just that's how the title should be. It should be a title that we don't know when it's going to change hands.
Okay, so I can rock with that. I get that now. So okay, fine. I'll take back I recuse my statement. Thanks.
That's why I love you, sis. I love you. AEW Dynamite news coming out of it. Big news this week was AEW has announced a new live event series to kick off in March. The company announced on Wednesday that the series will be called AEW House Rules and will take place on select weekends. The series will begin on March 18th in Troy, Ohio. It's going to have Darby Allin on the card, Claudio Castagnoli, Orange Cassidy, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and John Moxley. Also, we had an interview this week with Chris Jericho with the Daily Star, who got interviewed and talked about Brian Cage. He says that AEW needs to sign Brian Cage to a new contract as it's believed his deal with the company is ending soon. On Brian Cage AEW status, Chris Jericho said, I think Brian Cage over the last 6 months is the best Brian Cage has ever been. I think he's finally starting to understand some of the psychology of wrestling rather than just moves and that sort of thing. He is one of a kind with his side, agility, but now there is more intensity. And I think he's really understanding who he is as a wrestler. 6 months ago, I might have said, well, whatever. If he says that, that's cool. But now I think he has become a way more valuable part of our roster.
What? Like, what do you mean?
And I would sign him for sure. Absolutely. Do you guys think that AEW should re-sign Brian Cage, whose contract is said to be about to expire?
Yeah, put him on ROH.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like that statement, first of all, is just wild though. Like 6 months ago, this dude was trash, but now,
but now he's great.
I like this guy.
He proves his point. He's so good. Like what? And he said it just like that. I know he did. I know he said it just like that.
You know, Chris. You know Jericho.
I think here's the thing. He is he has value, right? But I don't think he's extremely valuable. If that makes sense. Like I think he's a good performer, but it comes down to economics. Like
it's flat.
Yeah, like there's a ceiling to how much I'm gonna pay you, Brian Cage, because you've been here almost since day one on this AEW TV show. And what have you really done? And that's not saying that you're a bad performer, but it's like I got 12 other yous in the locker room, that all need TV time. So it's like, yeah, I do like Chris's idea of you can be on ROH and rec shop over there until we can think of something for you to do in AEW.
Yeah, because I think even if he goes to WWE, I would put him on NXT. If I'm WWE, I wouldn't put him on the main roster where he might get lost in the shuffle. Karrion Kross. But I would put him on NXT. I would put him on NXT where he can stand out.
That's what listen. Okay, go ahead. You're not going to touch on Karen.
Final
facts on facts.
Final AEW note. Bloomberg actually did a feature on Tony Khan and AEW, and in the article it was reported that AEW is considering launching its own streaming service. Finally. It was noted that the service would be through a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns the TV networks AEW currently airs on, and this was credited to a source familiar with management's thinking that didn't want to be named. In the article, it was noted that AEW made $100 million in profit in 2022. That's a big number for a company that's only been around for 4 years.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I think it's good news. The only thing that makes me worry about this a little bit, Krssi and SP3, is the stability of Discovery, Warner Brothers, HBO Max, all of that. Like we've seen over the last year and a half. It's a little shaky right now as they kind of figure out what this company is going to be going forward. And so, yeah, it makes sense from a business perspective that that's who would be hosting the streaming. But like they got movies that are finished that they threw away for tax purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like they have shows that have been in the works for years that they've canceled because they're trying to figure out what this HBO Discovery Max thing is. So I hope it works out. It just makes sense to put an AEW tab, on HBO Max or whatever the streaming service will be. But I'm not gonna hold my breath, man. They canceled Scooby-Doo, Krssi. They had a Scooby-Doo movie made. If Scooby-Doo is out here on these streets getting cut. Scooby been solving mysteries since before we was born.
And they can't let this man get a movie. Yep, they give Velma her own show. How you give Velma her
own show and disrespecting Scooby like that?
You're right. Which I hear is not even all that good.
I've been hearing. I haven't heard good reviews.
I haven't heard good things about Velma.
Yeah, I've been saying this for months that AEW on HBO Max, it just makes a world of sense, especially with the whole ROH TV library as well. Called to Life Ministries caught my shade, and he says Karrion Kross needs a faction. I'd put him with the Judgment Day just to have that energy bleed off on him and help him get over. No, don't ruin the Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day is good as it is. I was about to say the Judgment Day is doing good. Their storyline that's creeping up a little by little, the whole Dom and Ray. That's another book when we get to that part of the show, but don't ruin that. Yeah.
We can't ruin that what we're doing with ex-con Dom. We can't do that. But let's finish off AEW Rampage last night. The show featured the Elite defeating the Firms, Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy in a super fun opener to retain the AEW World Trios Championships, and Nick Jackson invading the body of Shawn Michaels, doing a full handstand sell off of the Twist of Fate. One of the greatest sells of the Twist of Fate ever. Now Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will now move on to face AR Fox and Top Flight, as I like to call them, Top Fox, for the titles this Wednesday on Dynamite. Top Fox, here for you. This is what I'm here for. We had Swerve Strickland. He beat Brian Pillman Jr. Post-match, the Mogul affiliates jumped Pillman until Dustin Rhodes made the save and continuing that little rivalry that got kickstarted on last week's show. We also had Saraya.
What was he going to do with that thing? What was he going to do?
He had a turnbuckle. That was a turnbuckle.
We're gonna unhook the ring with that thing? Like,
you're gonna stab him. Most
Okay.
of them. That's what we do out in these streets.
Sure.
Oh, you also had
That's
House of
Devontae's
Black.
brother. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You had House of Black tell Eddie Kingston that they don't even want him, bro. They told him that we just wanted to prove that men could be corrupted. So you betrayed your best friend for no goddamn reason because House of Black don't even want son. That was some cold shit. You also had Saraya and Tony Storm destroyed the Renegade Twins, and then the AEW Outsiders pulled an NWO Outsiders by spray painting L's on their opponents. And then we had Roosh getting the win over Christopher Daniels in a decent main event to heat him up before he faces Bryan Danielson this Wednesday on Dynamite. All in all, pretty good show. I've been liking as of late how Rampage seems to be more connected to what's going on Dynamite and don't seem like the land of misfits kids who don't want to get used on Dynamite.
The land of misfit kids, friend.
We used to call Rampage the nigga hole. They used to put all the black people on Rampage at one point.
It was though. It was. Krssi said I can't be a part of this. Not in February.
I was not even trying to say the word today. You just did it. Oh man, damn. Dang, SP. It's Black History Month, friend.
How we starting the month? Come on, fam.
I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize.
But look, I'm like Sam talking to the Winter Soldier, like he's out of line, but he's right about AEW Rampage.
Yes.
We got Jigo Bucks as Dustin Dante Rhodes. Absolutely. Y'all gotta be weak in the chat now. Y'all are hilarious. AEW notes Kenny Omega had some visa issues, which are reportedly behind him now, meaning that he was at this week's AEW Dynamite and Rampage, as noted last week.
From?
He's from Canada.
Oh, okay.
Like Manitoba, I think.
Yeah. He's from the same place as Jericho and Don Callis. Omega's absence from the last couple of weeks of AEW TV was said to be due to these visa issues, but the Wrestling Observer reports that Omega's issues have been cleared, and he was at Wednesday's episode of Dynamite.
To get you? No, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Someone else who's been absent from AEW television over the last couple of weeks has been Keith Lee after being attacked by Swerve Strickland and his mogul affiliates. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Lee has only been gone from TV to sell, having a cinder block crushed over his chest, and he is set to be back soon to get revenge on Strickland. Give me Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve in our glory implodes at Revolution. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. I saw that coming though. CM's like, I saw the Swerve in our glory imploding coming. I love y'all. Y'all are weird. Y'all got me. No, also last night, besides Rampage, was of course WWE SmackDown, and the show featured the fallout from Royal Rumble as the Bloodline were in shatters with Jey Uso absent from the show and Roman pressuring Jimmy and Solo Sikoa to find their brother. Then Roman addressed Sami Zayn in the ring, where he said when he looked in Zayn's eyes at Survivor Series, he saw greed in his eyes, not lust in his eyes. He saw greed in his eyes. And this led to Sami attacking Roman from behind to a huge pop from that Greenville crowd, and also hit him with a damn spear. Disrespectful, before challenging Roman for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. However, Jimmy and Solo jumped Sami from behind before Roman stopped the attack and cut a steering promo right into the camera, no microphone, to accept the challenge, and telling Sami he wants it in Montreal because he wants to break Sami in front of his family because Sami broke his family. Oh man.
Standing ovation.
This is what I love when the location is used for the story. This is excellent stuff. This has been made official. Roman versus Sami in Montreal at Elimination Chamber. Also on the show, you had Braun Strowman and Ricochet defeating Imperium to win the tag team title contenders tournament. And now they move on to versus the Usos next week. Will Jay show up? Will he won't? We will find out next week. You also had
Will he won't.
You also had Uncle Howdy being associated with Bray Wyatt was a thing on the show, and people online told me they were scared. Okay,
What?
cool story, bro. You also had one of the best segments of the night was Dom and the Judgment Day.
Second best.
Dom and the Judgment Day interrupting Rey Mysterio and the New Day at LA Coliseum at the racetrack for NASCAR. And then we had Rey versus Dom in a race with Dom saying that he learned how to drive from his cellmate who was an ex-getaway driver. Ray won the race, and we had a confrontation with the
ridiculous.
It's so good though. Like it's like first of all, look at Damian and Finn. Who would have thought like Finn Balor would be in this type of storyline right now?
With the bucket hat.
He did so much. Yo, it's so good.
His bucket hat greater than Jake Hager. I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
Charlotte Flair beat Sonya Deville to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah, no one thought Sonya was going to win that one. And Natalya beat Zelina Vega, Shayna Baszler, and Shotzi to qualify for the Women's
Only because it's in Canada. That's why.
You know it. You know it, sis. You know how they work.
Oh, yeah. Natalya's now going over to Canada, her home country. And I'm like... Here we go. Here we damn go with the damn. Okay, Cody, you get these sympathy wins because you're going home. Like, great. She comes back. Great. Wow. We put Natalya back on.
With her Stephanie Tanner haircut.
No.
When I saw that haircut, that Stephanie Tanner had. No shade to Natty. Natty has done great for the women. You know, she's that undercover dog that always loses to everyone, which is great. Now, with that being said, I was very underwhelmed when I seen her come out, and no one cheered her really at all. That's all I got. Sorry.
Can we be honest, SP3? I know. We've been honest this whole show, but can we be honest here? Like outside of Roman and the Dominic Ray story, everything else on this damn show was underwhelming to me. Like it was just kind of like it's cool, but I'm not here for this. I'm here for Bloodline, and I'm here for Ray versus the Judgment Day. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I would, you could throw this whole show away and just give me the Bloodline stuff. Like I just want the Bloodline for 2 hours. That's what I want now. That's what I want. I don't think that's too much to ask. But what was your?
You think? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to ask you, Krssi. What was your thoughts overall on this this development in the Bloodline saga this week?
It's layers. This just layers on layers on layers is so good. And then like now we knew it's coming. We still know when and how it's going to be affect. How is it going to affect like the story? Like how is it going to be now? How is it playing out? And now again, Roman just like SmackDown was what SmackDown was, but then you had that killer ending, and then you had the Dom and Ray thing. Like those were like the best parts of the show.
Easy
for 2 hours.
Families being torn apart. That's what you love to see.
Families being torn apart.
It's a connection.
That's why I kind of feel like the Dom and Ray stuff should be going on Raw, because it might be too much of the family dramas going on one show.
No, but I like it's on both sides though. You know what I'm saying? Like they bring it. They have some of the stuff on Raw. But then also, Ray ran away from his son. So now you have no choice. Dom has no choice but to go over to SmackDown and antagonize his daddy.
Said Ray ran away from his son. Not Dom ran away from home, but Ray ran away from his son.
That's what he did, though. According to Dominic, And then you got Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Then you get freaking Ray people from NXT. Like, now we're gonna throw the New Day in there because they need to be in this too. Great. So now we
got to do something on the
We don't really have a connection, but hey, we need two other guys.
We're gonna be there to hype him up. We're like, nah, you can't do that. Chill, fam, chill. Like, no. I'm like,
they want to do that 6-man tag, man. Got to get a tag team in there.
We're gonna do a 6-man tag, sure. What other way? We're gonna get our usual good old guys, the New Day, to step on in and step up to the plate. If it's not them, then it's the Street Profits.
It's either New Day or Street Profits.
One of the two, because the Usos are busy right now, so you can't get
right. It's got to be a team of color to work with Ray.
How about that?
A team of color, absolutely. Ray can't team with no whiteys. Come on, you know this.
Wow, damn. Wow. Okay. Well.
Yo,
Oh man, I know I'm offending people.
The moment that got me last night, though, like that almost gave me chills. SP3 was at that final segment where the crowd starts chanting, "We want Jay," and Roman picks up on that and he's like, "You hear that? I want Jay too, but he's not here. You know why? Because you broke my family." I'm like, damn. Sir.
I mean, if that was not like ad-libbing at its finest, like just like off the dome, like what is it?
Dead using the crowd chants to his advantage. He used it all the whole episode. He was like, "What do you want to talk about?" And they were all chanting Sammy, and he was like, "Well, I want to talk about Cody, but since y'all want to talk about the crowd, I'll talk about that."
He's so good. Like,
that's
what, like, sure, let's talk about it. Sure, no problem. He just goes in like he did two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? Like, greatness
at its finest. Romeo bringing up a good point in regards to how they're going to book Elimination Chamber, saying the Usos can't travel to Canada. If I'm not mistaken, I think that one of them can. I don't know if both of them can.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I heard is like the latest adjustment to that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I can't.
And if it is Jay that can't travel, then this is a hell of a way to work that into the story. There's a reason Jay can't be here.
But but Jimmy's the one that's the issue, not Jay.
Well, Jay. I think Jay. The big moment, if it's one of them that can travel to Montreal, it needs to be Jay because Jay needs to have. I'm sorry, I love you, and super kick Sammy and cost him the championship.
Right.
That's what I want. That's what I need. I need it in my.
When is Elimination Chamber?
February 18th.
Yep.
Ooh,
2 weeks.
Okay. Indeed. Call to Life Ministry saying, "I've been wanting to see this side of Sami Zayn for months now, and now we have it. I want to see more aggression, more attitude, more viciousness. The dark side of Sami is what I want to see. No, the light side of Sami is coming out, and that's why in Montreal we need Worlds Apart. We need his original theme song. I know they don't use CFO anymore, but we need to make an exception. He needs his old theme song. And I want him to Zaz. I want him to Zaz with all the people in Montreal dancing to his theme song. Come on. We need that.
That theme does go hard though. It's not better than not like most girls, but it's still pretty good.
It's a close second to that era. Close second to that era. Negro Buck saying, I'm gonna break you in front of your family, in front of your wife, in front of your children.
You know it's cold when he want to do something in front of your own babies. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Roman killed it, man. Roman killed it.
He did. We got Call to Life Ministry saying, I've been hearing that Jimmy has too many DUIs and Jay is good. I don't know. It's kind of messed
that's
up.
what I'm saying.
That's what I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Jimmy, that's the one that has because that's why Jimmy was gone for a long time. That's why main event Jay.
Right. You're right, Krssi. You're right.
Yes.
Jimmy just can't keep his shit together, but hopefully it's like on, that's probably why the tribal.
I mean, now I understand it though. Like, there's a reason this man be on that drink so much because of all this drama in the family.
You got too much stress. You got too much stress. That's why he be sipping.
You know what,
too much stress going on.
Look at us undercover. Like, we are just like
we unearthed him.
That's why Naomi don't come around no more. It's too much drama going on.
She was providing the Henny for him, and he was like, "Nah, chill, B." We had some news coming out of SmackDown as well, or before SmackDown. Speaking of someone from SmackDown, one of their top stars, Gunther, who had a great Royal Rumble performance, and now we have news in regards to where he might be for WrestleMania. WWE, according to a new report from WrestleVotes, has some plans for a big matchup involving the Intercontinental Championship. The report notes that a number of supporters in creative want a triple threat match between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre for WrestleMania.
Brother,
the people pitching it. No, that's what needs to happen. I called this. It also want the match to happen towards the top of the card for WrestleMania. Of course, Sheamus challenged Gunther unsuccessfully for the title belt twice last year at Clash of the Castle, our match of the year for 2022, as well as on an episode of SmackDown. McIntyre has yet to face the Ring General in a matchup, although although they did interact at the Royal Rumble with Gunther eliminating both Banger Bros. Gunther has now been Intercontinental Champion for 237 days. He is now the 10th. He is now the 10th longest Intercontinental title reign in WWE history. Nice. And he just bypassed the man that eliminated him in the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes did reign back in 2011. Okay. What do you think about? So, Krssi, you're not down for Gunther versus the Banger Bros at WrestleMania.
I feel like, okay, with all of that Gunther has done, he's made the IC title feel very important again. Because I feel like it has not gotten this type of run in a long time. I mean,
who do you want him to?
I know it's going to be a good fight between the three of them. Put it like that. They're going to be or everyone's chest is going to look like meat.
Yes.
All right, fine. I'll take it as the third match of the night because it's gonna be which night are we putting them on? 2?
No, that needs to be like one of the final big matches on the card, like either to start the show or towards the end of the card. That's what they were saying. The report says that it's supposed to be at the top of the card.
Okay, so it can start off the show, it can set the tone for the show. I can see them doing that. Sure, no problem. Great.
You say it like it's a bad thing. I'm sorry. This was my whole thing, that I was against the Gunther and Brock Lesnar thing, because Gunther has, like you said, made the Intercontinental title important again, and Brock Lesnar ain't gonna have no damn Intercontinental title match. It would just be a match with Gunther as the champion, non-title, because he ain't gonna fight for the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
So that undermines all the work that Gunther did to make the Intercontinental title important again.
Okay.
She's like, okay, all right, I concede again.
Okay, what? I don't know what else you want me to say.
Yeah, it's the kind of match where, and I get where Krissi's coming from, but I think also you want to have a match on Mania that showcases Gunther, but like there's a certain level, because he's not the main story. We've got Bloodline stuff, we got Cody stuff. Like there's other people that need more shine, but we don't want you to forget about Gunther. So let's put him in a match, as Big E would say, with some big meaty men slapping meat. And him and Drew and Sheamus, they're going to tear it up. So I think it's a good showcase for Gunther. I'd probably put it on that second, like to start the second night, because if this year's Mania is like last year's, that second night needed a little help, I think, in comparison to the first night. So I would put those guys on the second night.
Always needs some extra help. Rickety saying Rollins versus Gunther. Rollins gonna be busy. He gonna get all the mainstream attention with Logan Paul based on what happened at the Royal Rumble. He says KO versus Gunther. KO gonna be busy.
KO gonna be busy
against the Usos. Like you naming options that already basically have their punch their ticket for WrestleMania. Annika saying, hey, I would rather have Cody versus, I don't even know who she's talking about at Mania. Walter was that fat guy. This is Gunther. This is Gunther. Put some respect on.
Yeah, Gunther, the body transformation. Like, yo, that man is ripped, yo. Like, I wasn't down with the Gunther name first, but now he's Gunther. He's transformed and he's now a whole new person. Gunther
ain't ate a carb in like 12 months. Been sipping coconut water.
Jenny got him on that workout plan. Other news.
Serious. I need to go over there with them.
Another person who returned at the Royal Rumble was Pat McAfee. He returned to WWE at the start of the show. His return was reportedly a complete surprise to most in the company. PW Insider reports that McAfee's appearance on commentary was kept quiet to almost everyone in WWE to keep it from getting out, and that not even most of the production team knew before McAfee came out of the ring. This led to a quick scramble to get him a new chair and headset for McAfee. If you saw at the beginning of the show, for him to join Michael Cole and Corey Graves. The report notes that Cole and Graves also didn't know about McAfee's return, and their reactions were legit surprises. There's no word on whether.
Oh, really? When he came out, they were surprised?
Yeah.
Wow.
You could tell with Cole. Cole was very genuine. He was like, "Oh my god,
my friend's back,
my boy." My man, like you can your chopped liver, Corey. Go over there.
Yo.
He's like my bestie. He's like, who cares about Corey? My bestie's here. There's no word on whether this means a regular return to commentary for McAfee. If you heard SmackDown last night, Wade Barrett was on commentary. In the latest episode of his podcast, McAfee revealed he was originally supposed to be in the Rumble match, but wasn't in good enough shape to do so. On how his return happened, he says there was speculation, a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people thought I was going to be in the Royal Rumble. A lot of people thought I was going to be there. That was not figured out until late last week. That came together pretty quick. On almost being in the Rumble, he said, they said immediately after I left, Hunter, Stephanie, and Nick, a Rumble is like the perfect time to come back because that's when people come back. It's after college football season. I was like, perfect. I need something to keep me in shape. I get fat and I need something to keep me working out for. I tried. Everybody saw me. I was getting after it. By week 9, I think I could have done a couple of minutes in the Rumble, but I don't want to disrespect anybody. There were only 29 guys who came out because where the fuck was Rey Mysterio? Is he okay? There are only so many spots and there is only a lot of danger and shit that can happen. I told them maybe week 13 or week 14 of the season. Hey, want to let you know the season has been a grind with game day being an extra work day. I'm not going to be able to be in good enough shape for the Rumble.
Nah, he didn't need to be in the Rumble. He was great where he was at. He was perfect. Like, it was good for him to be on the commentary table with the other guys.
Exactly. I totally agree with you there. But
You just
are you
needed
ready,
one
Krssi?
person for just Logan Paul was just enough.
Are you ready, Krssi?
I'm ready. What are we talking about now?
It's time. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Vince McMahon Hostile Takeover
Gotcha.
Session Part 5. Nick Khan says,
Part 5
says if the best interests of WWE shareholders, Vince McMahon would step down following a potential sale. On Thursday's Q4 earnings call, Khan fielded questions about a possible sale or other opportunity and talked about what WWE is looking for in a partner, as well as the potential for McMahon, who returned to WWE Board of Directors in January, to step down after such a deal is executed. On whether McMahon would step away if it's in the shareholders' best interest, he said yes, without question. He's declared it to the board. He's declared it to us in management. It's all about the shareholder value. Obviously, he's a shareholder, so it's not about what role he'll have. It's about maximizing that value opportunity. Vince McMahon's status in a post-sale WWE has been a subject of speculation, and Nick Khan says again in another interview with CNBC that McMahon is open to leaving if such a situation happens. The comments are similar to the ones he made in Thursday's Q4 call, but he said, and I quote, on McMahon possibly stepping down as part of the sale, he said, Vince has declared to the board he's 100% open to transactions where he's not included in the company moving forward. If it's the right deal, and we will take a look at all the factors that make it the right deal. And he says on WWE's value to a potential buyer, we feel the marketplace is robust for our product is in its essence its own sports league. Someone can buy it and put it on their platform. He also said on the interview with CNBC, he gave an update on when he thinks the sale of WWE might take place. According to Khan, a sale would likely happen quickly, around 3 months. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that cuts are being made within WWE in order to lower the company's costs and get it ready for a potential sale. And in another quote during the Q4 call, for someone who definitely doesn't have a gun to their head and is definitely not scared of this man taking their spot, Triple H said he is happy to have Vince McMahon back on the board of directors. He said on the call, and I quote, I want to reiterate just how excited I am, how much fun I am having in my role as Chief Content Officer. I also want to add that having Vince around has been great. I will tell you this, it has allowed me to speak for our entire creative team, but we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So having him back and involved, even at just the board level, comes with his incredible insight, and he is a tremendous asset to this company.
Where's the violin?
Definitely. Triple H, let us know if you feel like your life is in danger. Let us know. Nate, what have you thought about this whole Vince McMahon hostile takeover that started in January?
Here's the thing. Like I said this from the beginning, like when we first got inklings that Vince was, kind of sniffing around again. And people were like, "Oh, it's nothing serious. It's not going to mean anything in the long run." I'm like, Vince is like a stray cat. You can't leave the door open just to crack, because eventually he's gonna find a way to come in. Vince McMahon is also like David Ruffin from the Temptations. Like no matter how much you want him to leave, Krssi, he refused to let you go. Vince ain't going nowhere. And so
gotta beg, plead for no sympathy.
The idea.
If you've never seen the Temptations movie, I beg of you to go and watch it, because you have to see Leon transform into David Ruffin. He is like Diana. If the Supremes were nothing, it is all about Diana fucking Ross and David fucking Ruffin. You could have, the blind could tell you that he knew he was the true leader of the Temptations, but he wasn't. He didn't want. Otis was.
But ain't nobody coming to see Otis.
Ain't nobody coming to see Otis. Otis ain't selling no tickets. He is.
The idea that Vince is going to leave, like, come on. Like, this man has had opportunities over the years, Krssi. Like, you would think if he was somebody that had faith in his daughter, of all people, or faith in Hunter. Like you 75 years old, dog, like, pass the torch.
Yes,
but he doesn't.
You groomed them for this role all their lives. Like, Shane clearly told you he didn't want to do it. So that left you with your daughter. Your daughter stayed there by God, she came back.
Right.
So that doesn't tell you anything. I don't know what does.
Yeah.
And you refuse
to let you go.
If I beg, please, for your sympathy. I don't mind, because you mean that much to me. I'm too proud to beg. Vince is too proud to beg, though.
Too proud.
We got to do a live watch of the Temptations movie.
I can watch it. Man,
next up, y'all. WWE Raw this week, they did another huge number. I love how I'm segueing from this stuff. 2.11.
We always do it. If it's not a song, it's something. It's something else. We do it all the time.
The show featured Cody Rhodes' return to Monday Night Raw, where he cut a fantastic promo to officially challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39. And then he went on to defeat Finn Balor in a really good main event of the show.
I was pissed about this, but I'm sorry.
Thanks to a distraction from Edge and Beth Phoenix continuing their rivalry with the Judgment Day. Also, you had Seth Rollins. He beat Chad Gable in a rock solid bout. You had Johnny Gargano defeat Baron Corbin, and Bronson Reed beat Dolph Ziggler, leading to Rollins, Gargano, and Reed qualifying for the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match at the pay-per-view coming up on February 18th. You also had Becky Lynch goading Bayley into a steel cage match after Bayley said that Seth Rollins only married Becky because he knocked her up.
This is great stuff. This is good. I mean,
great line by Bayley. Bayley right there. I loved it. I loved every second of it. You also had Rhea Ripley deciding to challenge Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Another alley-oop that you failed.
At WrestleMania 39. But yeah, I'll go to you, Miss Krssi Luv. What was your thoughts on Rhea Ripley picking Charlotte Flair? A rematch of WrestleMania 36, a rematch of Hell in a Cell 2021, a rematch of Money in the Bank 2021, a rematch of the Triple Threat from In Your House 2020, a rematch from the Triple Threat at WrestleMania Backlash 2021. Yes, this is now 6 different ways we've gotten Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, when everybody and their mama, including Triple H himself, have been teasing us with Rhea versus Bianca for
that we have never had.
Yes,
we've never had it.
Never had one-on-one on the main roster.
One-on-one, never, ever. And this is heel, face, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you. And okay, I get the logic of her going after Charlotte. I get all of that, and I understand that. But why do we need that now? We could have that later. Like, we have so much time for that. Like, she can be a Grand Slam champion. Are we going to have Charlotte lose at WrestleMania again? Probably not. Like, I don't like my odds.
I think Rhea will win because Triple H was very adamant that he was against Rhea losing at WrestleMania 36 when it first happened. But I'm sorry, I don't want to sit around for Triple H having to right every single wrong that Vince McMahon
did. Right. Like, that's not the story that people wanted to see. Like, Rhea and Bianca have said it several times that they want to fight against each other. They've come up together, like, but they've always been in matches together, but they've never got one-on-one. And so now Bianca got to go face one of these girls that's just like for the Elimination Chamber match, and just like, I don't see anybody in that thing that seems worthy to beat her. Do you guys?
I mean, Asuka. This new Asuka, but this is why. Also, if it's Asuka that wins this Elimination Chamber, I'm just gonna be like, well, Triple H, you fucking should have done it the opposite way.
Yes,
it should be Asuka, this new Asuka, trying to get revenge on Charlotte for ending her streak back at WrestleMania 34, and it should be Rhea Ripley to give us the match that we were supposed to get at Money in the Bank 2022. You've been teasing this match since last July, and you just decided, I need to right the wrong that my dad did. Rhea, you're going after Charlotte. I understand the reasoning. I'm all for Rhea Ripley getting her win back and becoming a Grand Slam champion, but you're literally inviting the fans to turn Rhea, who's thriving as a heel, babyface, and the freshly faced Charlotte into a heel. Nate, what do you think?
Because to me, that's the biggest danger in all of this, is that you risk turning Rhea babyface, and by proxy, you weaken Judgment Day.
Yes.
Because look, here's the thing, not to get back on the Temptations, but Rhea Ripley is the star of Judgment Day.
Yes.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Finn. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Damien. Like, we might be coming to see X-Con down for a little bit, but still, Rhea's the star. And so I feel like this is short-sighted. It should have been Rhea, Bianca, and Charlotte versus whoever. Like, we don't know what's up with Ronda.
Raw, like the segments for them. Like, it would have been good stuff for Raw already. Like, we could have easily gotten someone for, like, okay, yeah, we don't want Asuka really to go to SmackDown, but it's fine to put some shine over there and have her be over there. The blue face, like the blue and white, like it all goes. Like, what? Why? You need a top girl over there with her. We're gonna say Nia Jax
and CM actually, who will actually be a better winner of Bianca versus Rhea. Rhea beating Bianca is what should happen. Bianca's been champion for a full year.
So now it's time for her. Yeah, like, it's okay. Like, she's done. I'm sure she needs a break anyway. I'm sure she's tired.
All these scenarios that people are saying are in the like, Rhea can beat Charlotte and then Bianca can beat Asuka, so you have the two new faces of the women's division having both titles. My dude, we did this 2 years ago when Rhea beat Asuka and Bianca beat Sasha. So this is why we are just retreading old waters.
Yeah,
that's the issue here.
And I feel like they always like to go back and redo. Oh, let's just do this one more time. Let's see if we could do it better than before. They always want to do a do-over. Like, no, we don't always need a fucking do-over. You should have just got it right in the first place.
That too. We got Jerry in the chat. Jerry Williams, thank you for joining us, good brother. He says, my first time listening to you guys' podcast.
Welcome.
It's great stuff. Definitely will become a long-time subscriber to Usi. Welcome to the cookout, Jerry. We appreciate you. Grab a plate. Get comfortable. We here every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
SP3 said your seat next to Mark Marrow.
Mark Marrow is in the house. Mark Marrow's here. He gets a plate too. He gets some ribs. We gotta get him even blacker.
It's all I blame all the tanning, guys. It ruined my. And then they had him with Jacqueline too. So that solidified his blackness.
Right.
Absolutely. And Negro Bug saying, yes, SP3 is right on it. Look at the big picture, guys. Yeah, it's big. It's the big picture thing of this is the ready-made Triple H regime women's title match was Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Like I said, Triple H is LeBron James, had an open lane. We want to see you dunk, and you're shooting from the logo. I mean,
you're not a shooter. You're not a
knowing
shooter.
you're not a shooter, and knowing we need you to score here.
Yep.
That's like,
yep. That's a fact.
Yes, all the first timers joining us, we appreciate you, and join us tonight as well. He's going to be hosting the watch along for NX3 Vengeance Day. We also got Krssi Luv tomorrow with Serving Face and Heels at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, talking about women's wrestling more in depth than we do even here. But let's talk about some news coming out of Monday Night Raw this week. At this time, only 3 matches are confirmed for WrestleMania 39 in LA. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal title. The other confirmed bouts of Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's Championship against the winner of the Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had notes on other rumored bouts that are matches that are locked in as of this time. John Cena versus Austin Theory. It's unknown if the U.S. Championship will be on the line. Also, they just
John
this
Cena,
is
his hair, great.
This is a new
just
one.
what we need in Hollywood, right? Just what we need at SoFi.
He screams Hollywood. WWE Women's Tag Team titles of Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I think that's very smart. Ronda being involved makes the women's tag team titles feel more important. Some type of sponsorship match is what's been also listed. Other matches that have been either rumored or teased on television of Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins after Logan Paul eliminated Seth from the men's Royal Rumble matchup last Saturday. You also have Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. That's just been being built ever since Clash at the Castle when Dom turned. And Edge versus Finn Balor is also being rumored, and of course the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It was also noted that Brock Lesnar is confirmed for Mania and would likely face Bobby Lashley if that match doesn't happen at Elimination Chamber.
God.
Likely match of Edge versus Finn Balor, with Edge versus Beth Phoenix versus Balor. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley likely for Elimination Chamber. There are rumors for a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania between Edge and Balor, with Edge as the Brood version of Edge versus Demon Finn Balor. That was supposed to go down at Royal Rumble, which could happen here, but it's not been confirmed yet. And finally, it has been noted that Cena will likely not appear on television much for the buildup of his matchup with Theory. An angle was shot on December 30th at SmackDown, and Cena is currently filming Amazon's Ricky Stanicky in Melbourne, Australia, and will be there from all of February and most of March. So he's not going to be much a part of the build-up for the matchup.
Okay. Sure.
So you like all those matches for WrestleMania, guys?
How do we split the 2 days? You know,
right? That's going to be important.
If that's the distinction, I'm sure night one is always going to be the better night. I'm trying to go to the first night. I don't necessarily need to go to the second one. I can watch that in a hotel room or a bar. But yeah.
So you don't want to see both nights where you're going to see the excitement?
No.
She's like, no, it depends.
I can't go to that and Beyonce. I got to do one of the two.
You don't want to see Bray Wyatt in a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles match?
Come on, in a Waffle House match? Let's go. Let's go. Waffle House match. Give me that. All the violence happens there.
It really does, though. No, they should do it in a Waffle House too.
Yes.
They should
Waffle House rules. Waffle House rules match.
Like an actual Waffle House, like not a set, but like an actual store where people are eating.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like just how they did like the Booker T supermarket and Stone Cold thing.
Right.
Just they have to go to the Waffle House. It has to be in one. If anyone knows, sorry, it's Black History Month. Sorry, this is bringing us down a little bit. The Waffle House is actually known for, we go there to eat, but then once once the drinks flow to a certain peak, we as people don't know how to act, and it's been shown, it's been proven as a fact that we can't take it's a scientifically proven. Yeah, you can't take us nowhere, and we break things, we just demolish things, or we go and we fight the people that even work there. And we have to do better.
We got to do better, y'all. We got to do
You
better.
got to stop and think before things get scattered, smattered, and covered.
But we want Waffle House rules. That's
want
the
House
Waffle
rules.
House
Bray
rules.
Wyatt. Let's go.
Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy.
It's
Waffle
only
House
right
rules.
because it's in LA. Like you have to go, and you have to go to like Crenshaw to do it.
Yep. Give me a Sonic match. Give me that. All of that. I'm with it. I'm with
In
all
and
of
out,
it.
bro.
And an In-N-Out burger match. Give me all of those.
It's an animal style match.
One person who won't
You guys
apparently
are
be
stupid.
at WrestleMania 39 is Stone Cold Steve Austin. According to a report by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the WWE Hall of Famer has turned down the option to wrestle again at WrestleMania 39. While it's still possible Austin might appear at WrestleMania 39, he apparently won't be in action in the ring. Austin was said to have been offered matchups with both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but he apparently turned both options down. Meltzer also continued that the same goes for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, noting that The Rock could be there, but it will likely not be in a wrestling match. Johnson reportedly did not feel like he was had enough time to prepare for a WrestleMania caliber main event, but he apparently left the door open for WrestleMania 40 in 2024. Austin,
40?
this is fine, to make WrestleMania 38 feel more important. Take a year off. I'm fine with that. And I don't mind if Austin comes back for WrestleMania 40. But Rocky, nah, it was now or never. It's never now. It's never now.
You got to pull the trigger. Like you can't wait till next year. You have to come like now.
You blueballed us for 3 years. 3 years teasing that this was going to happen in LA. No,
he doesn't want to. I don't think he wants to do it. That's just say you don't want to do it. It's fine. I'd rather accept that than just you.
Let it. Let it play out. SP3. Let it play out, man. Because what if this is actually all part of the Bloodline story, and the elders send Rocky? They like, now is not the time, Dwayne. Next year, when he is at his weakest point, is when you will show up.
When he's downtrodden after he lost the title. I like it.
Okay.
But no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm over it. It's over now.
He said no.
It's over. Yeah.
Annika saying Waffle House ain't anything but someone's big mama's house. God damn, y'all are crazy. Jerry Williams saying, how does everybody feel about the product placement thing, Mountain Dew, NASCAR, and the potentially of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match? give me Uncle Howdy totally missing the cereal bowl. Give me that at WrestleMania 39.
So now we'd use a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and which is really, really a beloved thing, and you want to now kind of ruin it. Great, guys.
Romeo says Rock and Roman in the city of cousinly love. Not brotherly love. That's going to be in Philadelphia for WrestleMania 40. See, he's thinking
which is a big city for Rock and Roman from that Rumble that year.
It's going to be cold. Just letting y'all know.
Putting it all together.
There you go.
It's going to be real chilly.
Final note from Raw: Piper Niven is no longer Dewdrop, as we saw at Royal Rumble this past Saturday, and a new report says she knew about the change in advance of her Rumble return. Niven returned at Saturday's show under her original name of Piper Niven, dropping the Dewdrop moniker that she debuted on the main roster with. Our boy Alice McCarthy of Daily Mail reports that Niven was given the go-ahead for the name change a month before the Rumble, and that it was ultimately decided to re-debut her at the pay-per-view. I think we can all agree this was so much the right decision for her.
So why we can't give Butch back his name? Everybody getting their name back except the right people? Like, I don't understand this. We want to keep calling this boy Butch. I mean, it goes with the Brawl and Brutes guys, but still, like, that's not him.
It's over. Nope. He's Butch for life. He's Butch for life.
They keep changing everybody else's name, but the right person that needed the name change. I don't understand this at all.
It's Butch boy life. On WWE NXT this week, they did 587,000 viewers. The show featured Chase U winning the New Day Invitational against Idris Enofe and Malik Blade, as well as the Dyad, to advance the NXT Vengeance Days NXT Tag Team Titles match. You also had Indusher beat Creed Brothers in a hard-hitting Hoss fight to kick off the show. And in one of my favorite matches of the show, you had Tyler Bate defeating Axiom in an extremely good sprint between those two guys. One of the better TV matches this week. Also, this morning, you had NJPW, The New Beginning in Sapporo, Night 1. Tetsuya Naito defeated Shoto Umino in a very good main event. Also, you had Will Ospreay defeating Taichi in an excellent tribute to the King's Road style. This just had violence getting escalated, dangerous drops on the head. These guys delivered in Sapporo.
This is in LA, right?
No. This is the one in Japan. This was this morning. The one in LA, the one in San Jose is on February 18th, the same day as Elimination Chamber.
Got it. Okay.
And then you had Catch 22 beat Just Two Guys in a great tag team bout to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. But of course, the big news of the week for New Japan was on Tuesday. GCW announced that Kota Ibushi will be returning to the ring for them during the Collective 2023 during WrestleMania weekend. Per the announcement, Ibushi will be in action for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport on March 30th, where he has been signed. He will verse Speedball Mike Bailey. That should be a hell of a matchup on March 30th. He's also going to be on Joey Janela's Spring Break on March 31st. Both shows will stream live on Fight Plus. Kota Ibushi's NJPW contract is complete and he is now a free agent. Fightful Select had a report on it confirming that Ibushi's contract expired at midnight Tokyo time on February 1st. Ibushi was out of action for most of the past year due to injuries and had some well-publicized issues with New Japan Pro Wrestling after he received the talent relations member Kinushi had threatened to end his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract over an unapproved appearance in March, while also alleging that several bosses in the company had been involved in sexual harassment, as well as dealing with the Yakuza. The issues calmed down after NJPW stepped in and issued penalties to Kenkusi, NJPW president Takeru Obari, and Ibushi over their actions in the whole situation. Fightful notes that there is major interest from a number of companies for everything for full-time deals to one-off appearances for Ibushi, and contacts in every major promotion believe that Ibushi will want to remain a free agent, and sources close to the star said that he was happy doing that before he signed with NJPW, which was apparently a live and learn experience for Ibushi. The report also cites an unspecific significant private matter that Ibushi was dealing with, which didn't help his relationship with NJPW. NJPW also confirmed Ibushi as a free agent in a press release, saying that Kota Ibushi leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling. They said with the conclusion of his contract period on January 31st, 2023, Kota Ibushi has departed New Japan Pro Wrestling. Ibushi had been recovering from injury since October 2021, and we apologize to Ibushi's fans for the abrupt announcement and join him in wishing Ibushi the very best in all his future endeavors. No, you're not WWE. Stop it. Cut it out.
Right.
Like I said, it was announced Kota Ibushi has been booked to face Speedball Mike Bailey at Bloodsport 9, Josh Barnett on March 30th. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the reason Ibushi took the Bloodsport booking was due to his love of rings growing up. He has wanted to do a ring style match for some time, which is similar to the style that Bloodsport does, and Fighting Network rings was known for mixing real and worked physicality. Ibushi grew up watching it with stars like Volkan and Kanashi Tamahara. In a post on Twitter, Ibushi commented on his exit from New Japan. He said, "There were various conflicts, but thank you, NJPW. I chose the position of being free to renew my contract. Thank you for the long condensed period. Thank you. From now on, I hope you will watch over my path. I don't know what will happen." In an interview with Dark Persero Flosion, Ibushi spoke about his immediate plans, noting that he likely won't go to AEW right away. Dark Persero Flosion also recently asked the Young Bucks about their thoughts on Ibushi, and they had nothing but praise for him, saying, "Love him, miss him. He kept us in the loop on the night about Kenny in the Tokyo Dome, kept sending us little updates. Goes without question, we'd love to have him around or work with him, and I think he has the ability to do whatever he wants." Tony Khan also talked about it on Busted Open Radio, saying that AEW has wanted to work with Ibushi in the past, and he would be open to talking with Ibushi when the time is ready. But Ibushi has noted he wants to open a school in Japan before he talks with any promotion. But Nate, What do you think about this whole situation with Kota Ibushi over the past year or so, with him being injured, his issues with New Japan, and now being a free agent finally?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like, it goes without saying, like, we all love this dude, Kota Ibushi. Like, and anytime you get to see this man, it's a pleasure. But I feel like he got into a situation where what made sense at the time might not have been what made sense in the long run. You know, it's like, obviously, you know, we coming off of a pandemic, you know, and it's like, I need security. I need job security. But then you get the job and it's like, I don't know. And some of the people in management, they ain't clicking right. And they're like, oh, hold on. Did you say Yakuza? Like, it's a lot going on. And then he gets hurt, which I'm sure didn't help his, you know, mental health at the time. And it's like, we've all been there. We've all been at a job that we thought we wanted at the time, Krssi, but then when we actually get there, it's like,
yes,
I cannot wait to leave this job.
Yes, I've been there.
And he said it in that tweet. He's like, I'm free. And I think he means more than I'm just a free agent. He's like, I am free. I can be me again. So it wouldn't shock me, you know, if he shows up in AEW at some point. But I think for now, he's probably like there's less security in being a free agent, but there's more freedom. There's more control and agency. Like, I make the decisions. And so I think he's going to enjoy being free for a while.
Yes. He doesn't want to be tied down. He was tied down for a minute. You know,
shackled,
like
you might say, Krssi.
Shackled, yes. Or, you know, the church girls, you know, they're one way at church, but when they come outside, it's a whole different thing.
You see them on Saturday night, and you see them on Sunday morning. It's two different people. Just saying. We've had way too many analogies on this show.
Finna be a hot Ibushi summer.
Oh yeah.
Krssi knows. Krssi ready for that. She ready for that hot Ibushi summer.
John Moxley has proved it to you. So has Danielson. They've all shown it. They've shown the proof that in the pudding that once you leave you the person that was holding you down, your slave owner, it's over.
Going New Japan, the house. Oh man. This morning also you had Stardom Supreme Fight 2023, their first major pay-per-view of 2023, and you had one of the best women's matches I've seen in a very, very long time, as Julia defeated Suzuki to retain the World of Stardom Championship. These two women started off in professional wrestling together when
The American one, you said?
It's Julia versus Suzuki.
Okay, Julia is clearly the one with the
white
on. Okay.
And Suzuki is the one with the black. Of course.
Okay.
These two women actually started off in wrestling together when Suzuki was 15 and Julia was 23, and Julia was basically like the big sister to Suzuki. But then Julia dipped out on her little sister, went to Stardom, left her behind, and this one was an absolute war with Julia getting the win to retain the World of Stardom Championship, standing tall at the end of the night. You also had Saya Kamatani beat Momo Watanabe to retain the Wonder of Stardom Championship and set the record with 14 successful defenses against the woman who held the record previously. And it also should be noted that NJPW's parent company and Stardom's parent company, Bushi Road, announced that the crowd restrictions are gone in Japan. They can now cheer and boo freely at NJPW and Stardom shows. So thumbs up for that. Japanese wrestling is on the up, y'all. And then finally, Impact on Access TV this week. The show featured Callahan and the Design beating Uemura, Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, and Josh Alexander after Callahan dropped Uemura with the power driver. You also had Mickie James confronting Bully Ray over his complaining and slapped him before Bully Ray slammed Mickie James right in the middle of the ring. Tommy Dreamer made the save before Ray could powerbomb James and challenge Bully's Cool Hands tag team to a match against him and Mickie next week. And Matt Cardona
still fighting.
all these years later.
All these years, like, what is happening right now?
All these years later, we still here with Bully and Tommy Dreamer. And yes, Matt Cardona responded to Joe Henry calling him Edge's bitch last week with an awful diss track where he said he was going to take Henry's mom on a date. That was the best line he had in his rap. It was awful. It was really bad. But We have made it through what we missed to Krssi Luv's favorite portion of the show, match of the week time. As you saw with what we missed, it was a jam-packed week. So I'm not going to restrict us to 3 matches this week, Krssi Luv. You can give me 5. You can give me 5.
Oh, that's even harder.
5.
Oh my
Top
God.
5 for the
Great.
week. So Nate, how it
Great.
works, you pick 5 matches that you want to highlight from the week that people should have seen. And of course, the number 1 is your official match of the week.
Okay.
I will start things off, and I would say at number 5, I got the men's Royal Rumble matchup. I love that match. They set up a lot of things for WrestleMania, so I got to show that love. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley from AEW Dynamite. Absolutely love that matchup. A hell of a banger. One of the best TV matches of the year. Number 3, I'm going to go with Julia versus Suzu Suzuki from Stardom. Supreme Fight 2023 that I saw this morning. Excellent matchup there. At number 2, I'm going to go with Will Ospreay versus Taishi from NJPW's New Beginning in Sapporo. Great match there this morning as well. And then finally, number 1 this week, it's because I love this match so much. I think Hangman and Moxley was probably the best match on Dynamite, but this is the match I enjoyed the most. Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin. Joe murdering Darby is my favorite thing ever, and Darby Allin made himself into the top 5 Samoa Joe opponents of all time this week with that matchup. Krssi Luv, give us 5.
Okay, 5 as you, the men's Royal Rumble. 4 would have to go to the women's Royal Rumble. No, wait, let me do that back. The women first with 5. The men is 4. 3, I would do Finn and Cody. 2, I would do Mox and Hangman, and then I would put 1 as Joe and Darby.
Okay. That's it. Before this morning, I had the
honorable mention for honorable mention to Roman and Kenny.
You mean Roman and Kevin?
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry, Kevin Owens. Sorry, not Kenny. Duh. Sorry. Wrong K.
Nate, what about you? 5 for the week.
I mean, I'll echo Krssi and say honorable mention to Roman and Kevin. Also, and I know this match is not nearly as good as any of the other ones that we've talked about, but I kind of dug the Tony Storm and Saraya match against the Renegade Twins.
Yes, that was good. Yes, that was actually good. Yes,
I like their pairing, and it's a lot more interesting than what they were doing with Tony Storm before. So that's my honorable mentions. Number 5, I think I'll go Women's Rumble. It would have been higher if we had gotten more Nia Jax, but you know what? What can you do? What can you do? She's not like most girls, Krssi Luv. She's not like most girls.
She's not like most girls. You're right.
She's not some plastic little princess. Lucky for you, she's not like most girls. That song
is number 5.
That song is number 5. The Nia Jax shirt I almost bought from WWE Shop, the new one, is number 5. The Women's Rumble, number 5. Number 4, I think I'll go Mox and Hangman. I like that a lot. Number 3, Cody Devontae Rhodes versus Finn Balor. Number 2, I think I'm gonna go with the Men's Rumble. And number 1, much like everybody here, Darby and Samoa Joe.
Nothing like seeing Joe murder somebody, and especially somebody like Darby. Sound off in the chat with yours for the week. We got Annika, who says her bronze medal for the week was the men's Royal Rumble. Gunther slapping Cody's titty. Silver, Joe versus Little Dead Boy, and gold, Hangman versus Moxley. Yeah, I thought Hangman versus Moxley was probably the best match I saw this week, but the match I enjoyed the most was Joe and Darby. That's why I gave it the honors. But let's do a quick rapid fire predictions for the 2 cards for this weekend. You got tonight NXT Vengeance Day on the Peacock, and then you got tomorrow NJPW The New Beginning in Sapporo Night 2. We'll start with NJPW The New Beginning in Sapporo because we're only going to do the top matches here. I think Nate is frozen or he's just smiling for a very long time.
There you go.
I'm back.
And now he bounced back. Real quickly, the matches that we're not going to predict here, but Romeo, if he's still watching, put it up on the Patreon so we can predict these. We got Francisco Akira, Will Ospreay, TJP, Great Okan, the United Empire versus just 4 guys, the best stable name in all of wrestling. You got Ren Narita, El Desperado, and Minoru Suzuki and Nakashima versus House of Torture. You got Master Wato and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Taiji Ishimori and Kenta. You got Shoto Umino, Ryosuke Taguchi, Toriano, and Kazuka Okada versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. You got Jado, Hikuleo, Tamatanga versus Jay White, Gato, and El Fantasmo. And then the matches we will predict here, we got for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles, Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi versus TMDK, Shane Hayes, and Mikey Nichols. I'm going with Bishamon. They just won the titles back from FTR at Wrestle Kingdom, so I'll go with them here. Krssi Luv, who you got?
I agree. They just
Bishamon?
won it. I don't think they're gonna lose right now. Like,
Nate?
put the belt on them for a reason.
Yeah, too soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
So we're going all Bishamon across the board. Sound off in the live chat with your predictions as well. And of course, last call for super chat donations as we wind things down here. NJPW World TV Championship match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tomohiro Ishii. 15-minute time limit. This is going to be all thriller, no filler. Zack Sabre Jr. going to be tying up Tomohiro Ishii, and Tomohiro Ishii is going to beat the crap out of Zack Sabre Jr. But I got Zack Sabre Jr., the first TV champion. He needs to hold on to the title after winning at Wrestle Kingdom. Same thing with Bishamon. Who you got, Nate?
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a match. But again, like it feels like we have to establish these champions first before we can get to the title changes.
Zach.
Your same thing, Krssi?
Yep.
So Krissi's echoing the same thing, Zack Sabre Jr. across the board. And then finally, the main event, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Hiromu Takahashi versus Yo. Yo pinned Hiromu on New Year's Dash, but Hiromu just won the title at Wrestle Kingdom in the 4-way, the Great 4-way at that show. I think Hiromu Takahashi retains here. Same thing as the previous matches. Krssi?
That's the one with the coat, right?
Of course. That's my boy.
Yep. I agree. Yep.
Best dressed in the room. Nate.
Yeah, that's always kind of the problem with the show that immediately follows your big show. Like, it's hard to kind of switch up the status quo because we just established the new status quo. So, yeah, I feel like all the champs are going to retain.
I agree 100% there. But tonight is a huge show, NXT Vengeance Day. If you want more of a in-depth preview of the New Beginning in Sapporo Night 2, check out me and Jay News with our preview that dropped yesterday. We also did a preview for NXT Vengeance Day, but we will give Krssi Luv and Nate the opportunity to give their predictions. Let's start off with the best 2 out of 3 falls match is going to be Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes. Black History Month being represented.
Oh Lord, this is not right. I'm
going with Carmelo. Who you got, Krssi?
They're gonna stop doing Apollo like this, but yeah, Melo has to win. Like, oh man, like this is so. You put him over there to just lose. Great, thanks. Like he was losing on the main roster, so you put him back, you demote him, so he can keep losing. Great job, guys. Keep going.
See, I think this has the potential to be the match of the night. Like, I think it could steal the show.
Sure it could. Yes, I know they're going to deliver. I just don't like the fact that you take Apollo away and still don't give him no type of love. Like, yes, he's on the show. He's on live. He's on TV weekly. But when am I going to win?
I think he's going to win tonight because I'm going against both of y'all. Because I think the thing is, we can get a little bit more juice out of this story. And I think there's also a story to be told that Carmelo should win, right? If you're just looking at the tail of the tape. But Apollo's got that experience edge. And I think there's a story to be told that's like, you're better than me, but you're not smarter than me yet, kid. And so I feel like there's a lot more they can do with these two guys. And
this is the second time they're together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we do a trilogy. We do a third one. Okay.
I think Melo has to win because I think he's going to be in the title picture come stand and deliver.
That's another one that they dropped the ball on. I feel like.
Well, we'll talk about the championship picture as well, but NXT Women's Tag Team Championships up for grabs. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James. James and Henley were feuding with one another, but now they are a tag team. But yeah, I think it's Katana and KC. Katana and Kaden. KC squared is going to get the win here. What do you got, Nate?
The age-old WWE storyline of, can these tag teams coexist? Can these partners work together? No. The answer is no. The champs
stop
retain.
doing it. The champs, stop doing this. Like, stop putting makeshift people together and expecting them to work together. And then you're like, let's make them this tag team. Let's do it. Let's make it work. And no, that's get girls that are legit. Like, stop this.
Hey, they're building up the Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I think they get a shot at Stand and Deliver. But
I do like that group together. I do like those girls. Like, they finally put them together, and like Alba was like trying to fight it, but she couldn't fight it no more. I get the story behind it. I got it. Even when Homegirl on the list is great. So sure, let's do it.
I love you calling out Isla's lips.
I love her lisp though, because it's so like it can't go nowhere. You can't like hide it.
Right.
It's great.
True.
And
It's
the
like Cody's
tongue
lips.
just be, yeah. Cody can kind of like finesse it a little bit more.
Yeah, Cody can
Homegirl.
finesse his list.
I don't know. He tries, but I don't know.
Nah.
NXT.
That tongue be trying to just get out there real much. You know what I'm saying? Like the word.
NXT North American Championships up for grabs. You got Wesley defending against Dijak. I'm sorry, Wesley. I know it's Black History Month, but Dijak's winning. Who you got, Krssi?
I'm going to go have Homeboy retain and keep his West is going to stay. Sorry, Dijak.
Going with Wesley. Who you got, Nate?
Yeah, it's a shame I have to do this, SP3, but I'm gonna agree with you, man. Like, I think it's Dijak's time, and I think Dijak's gonna go on a lengthy run with the title as well.
He should. If he does one, he should. He deserves it, especially being on two horrible groups of two horrible like things they did for him in the main roster. Wow, good. I hope he gets this run that he should have had from before.
Right.
Yes. The former T-Bar deserves better. And then you got the NXT Tag Team Championships. This is probably the most unpredictable match to predict, as the New Day will defend against Gallus, Pretty Deadly, and Chase U. Any of these teams really have a chance to win, but I think they should keep it on the New Day to really bring more eyes to the NXT product. Krssi Luv, you agree?
I definitely agree with that. Yes, this is one match that is really can go any way, but I feel like it should stay. And it's Black History Month. Don't let us all lose all night. Like,
don't let us down, Kofi.
It's one of the blackest cards on the damn thing that they've had. Like, every person is a black person in each match.
Just about, yeah.
Just about.
Who you got, Nate?
I agree with Krssi. Like, I think there's a part of me that feels like this New Day NXT run is actually beneficial, not only for the New Day, who aren't doing a hell of a lot on the main roster, but like, if you listen to those guys talk, if you listen to their podcast when it was active, or just seeing them on various interviews, they want to give back. They want to help this next generation come up. So I feel like they're having fun down there.
They're having fun. That's what they're doing. They're having fun.
Yep.
They're like They're like the fun teachers, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know how you had like the cool teachers. So I'm like, oh, you wanted to be in a cool teacher class and then you didn't get to go to their class because they put you on. There's like 3 classes and you wanted to be that one cool teacher. You're like, damn, they put me in a mean teacher's class. And I don't want to be in that class.
Yeah, like, they're the cool teachers, and I think particularly when we see
teachers,
them and Chase U. Like, I think them and Chase U are going to do some real cool stuff in the match. But New Day retain.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think we're all in agreement, though. Like, New Day, they're good. They're good in NXT, and they can at least get it to Stand and Deliver, and then drop the titles then. Yeah. We got for the NXT Women's Championship a 3-way matchup. It's going to be Roxanne Perez versus Gigi Dolan and JC.
Yet another way they want to break up another group. Ugh, Jesus. Like,
I think this match is going to be good, but it's quite obvious Roxanne Perez is retaining here.
Yeah. I mean, like this is her second title defense, maybe. It's too early. But don't mess up Toxic Attraction. Like, it's one of the legit things that was like going good on this brand. Like, we can't mess it up, and you want to break up and just put them all in singles, and they'll be lost in the shuffle. Great. Thanks,
they need to
guys.
be on the main roster together for sure.
That too. They need to go against like Damage Control, like be a legit tag team, and have, like we said, maybe like Sonya or like maybe Carmella or somebody be like their leader, and make them like a good faction.
Yeah.
Who's a pretty girl that can like do this and like uses her?
I mean, they ruined Chelsea
Green.
Green was a good option, but Chelsea Green's not playing Karen.
I mean, Nia Jax could use some hench women. That's all I'm saying.
Nia Jax is toxic, y'all. She's toxic.
And I'm sinking under.
This was not a bad idea. I didn't even think we did say Chelsea, right? But then Chelsea Green, they messed up her whole another.
Yeah, they
didn't even touch on that. They messed up that too. Like she was in and then she was out. That's it.
Yep.
So Nate, you're also going with Roxanne here?
Yeah, I think the only thing that's a shame about this match is, as Krssi was saying, like we're still establishing Roxanne as the champion, and she's been overshadowed in the build to this match because of the GGJC stuff. And which is a lot more interesting than Roxanne at the moment. So hopefully they give her a strong win here and move her away from Toxic Attraction, because I think they overshadow her a bit too much.
Yeah, they're much better as characters and on the promo than Roxanne right now.
Yeah.
But finally, for the NXT Championship,
no, I will not stop. Can't stop. Won't stop.
For the NXT Championship, we got a steel cage match. It's going to be Braun Breaker defending against Grayson Waller. I am going to say it. I didn't want to say it on the preview.
Don't do it. I'm
going to say it here.
Say it. I want you to say it, please.
Grayson Waller for the fucking win. He is the man. He is the most improved.
I've been over
on
Braun
the NXT.
I've never been a fan. Sorry.
Wow.
He's the most improved on the NXT roster, and they can let Grayson win without pinning Braun. It just makes sense. Grayson Waller for the win.
Wow.
I have said it amongst a million times. I'm going to keep the same energy. I have never been and will I ever be one of his fans. Grayson Waller is a complete idiot, but he does his job very, very well. So he deserves the title more than the other guy. I mean, I feel like they've made a big mistake making him champion, but what do I know? I just do a podcast every week on Saturdays. So whatever. There you go. There's my answer.
Nate.
Wow. Well, I feel like Stephen A. Smith right now. SP3, like the audacity, the blasphemy, the sheer disrespect to this man, LeBron Breaker.
LeBron
Breaker on these streets. How dare you? But I get it. I get what Krssi is saying. Like,
I love that name, LeBron Breaker.
LeBron Breaker should be his name.
So much better. That sounds so much better than what they did.
Yeah,
LeBron Breaker.
I can't unsee it no more. That's his name. Just like Terrence, that's his name.
Terrence, LeBron. Terrence from Florida. We got LeBron Breaker, Cody Devontae Rhodes. It's good. There's a part of me that feels like you guys are right, though. Like it is time, because Braun is not long for this NXT life. Like he's about to head out, but I don't know if it's here or if it's at Stand and Deliver. Like it would not surprise me if, and they kind of booked themselves into a corner with the cage match, because the cage match should be the one that finishes the feud and not a middle part. Yeah. But it wouldn't shock me if they did something here and then it carried over to Stand and Deliver, and then that's where Braun drops the belt. So just to be different, just to be different, I'm gonna give it to that man LeBron Breaker and say he retains.
I like it. I'm just leaving out the door open. I may pick LeBron Breaker now that his name is LeBron Breaker.
I like the name LeBron Breaker now. Dang,
but
thanks, Nate.
That brings us
change your mind on the situation.
Yeah.
That brings us to a close on another edition of Tru Heel Heat. Thank you so much to our special guest, Nate Milton. Always bringing the goods, always bringing the names, the takes. I love having you on the show. Of course, this won't be the last time we have you, but of course, let the people know where they can follow you on social media, what you got going on the NWA podcast and Post Wrestling. Good sir.
Yes. Thank you. And yes, this won't be the last time we link up, SP3, Krssi Luv, because we got to do that Black History sitcom tournament draft one of these weeks. You know we got to get
yeah.
into that
Oh,
before
hell
the
yeah.
end of the year.
Yes, you're right.
Oh,
And we got to have Chris on for that one too, because Professor knows some old black sitcoms. We got to bring him on for that.
He's gonna be using all the UPN underpaid
Yes, he
Negroes,
is.
Homeboys in outer
man.
space.
Oh God.
one-on-one, Moesha,
One-on-one.
the Parkers,
Malcolm and Eddie.
He gonna
Malcolm.
pick out the BET ones like
Yes,
Sparks. Oh man,
Sparks. Wow.
Dang, not Sparks. Sparks was actually a good show, solid. Like the black lawyers. Damn.
Yo, there's so many great black sitcoms.
So many good shows, guys.
That you know what else is a good show, SP3? Tru Heel Heat. And so it's been great to be with y'all this morning. But if y'all want to hear more from me, as SP3 mentioned, Post Wrestling is one of the main places you can find me, where I'm not only the host of, or one of the co-hosts of the NWA podcast, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, along with Chris from LA and the youngest in charge, one of the hardest working brothers in this space, Andrew Thompson. We do it once a month. Bring you our takes on the world of pro wrestling from the perspective of black journalists, black fans, black creators, and sometimes we'll have black performers on the show as well. So check it out. I believe our show this month is going to be on the 25th, the last Saturday of February, but don't quote me on that. I'm also the host of the Rocky Maivia Picture Show, which is a movie podcast that chronicles the work of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So we got a Black Adam episode in the chamber that we're going to let out for the folks probably before the end of the month as well. My schedule is all over the place, so I can't be tied down to any dates. I'm like Kota Ibushi. I'm free on these streets. I show up when I want to, where I want to. The other thing I got going is the Kings of Sport. SP3 has been on the Kings of Sport before, and right now I'm offering the invite to SP3 for 2 Mondays from now. We're going to be doing our Super Bowl reaction show with the Chiefs and the Eagles. So I'm planning to put together a little crew for that episode. So keep your eyes and ears peeled out for that. We have a Patreon. So while you're supporting Tru Heel Heat on these Patreon streets, just walk across that street and see the Kings of Sport Patreon. $5. $5 gets you in the door. I know. Look, it's not only is it Black History Month, SP3, but it's tax season. So I know y'all might have a little extra change in them pockets, a little extra jingle in that jangle. So support the shows that you love, man. Support the people like Tru Heel Heat. Support folks like our good brothers over at Grapsody. Support the good brother Rich Fan, Seahawk. Like if you dig what a lot of us in this space are talking about, just show some love, and that's all I'm saying. So the Kings of Sport Patreon is where you can show love to me and Chris and some of our friends. And for everything else, I talk TV, I talk movies, comics. I'm part of the Lituation Room over at the DCTV Podcast Networks. We talk about movies and TV from the Black perspective. So it's a lot going on. But for anything else, find me on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK. And I just want to wish everybody out there in this month, carry the spirit of our ancestors, carry the pride of our people, and as always, carry the drive and the adrenaline of that good man, Cody Devontae Rhodes.
Feel the adrenaline in your soul on this month. Krssi Luv, let the people know where they can follow you, sis, and when they'll see you again.
Yes, you will see me every Saturday weekly for Tru Heel Heat, 11:05 a.m. with my good brother SP and our special guest always. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow for Serving Face and Hill with my tag partner Stephanie Hype. So be there 11:05 again on Sundays. I do some roundtables and watch along, so please join us there. Other than that, DM me, at me or whatever. Twitter is Tru Heel Krssi Luv. Instagram is Krssi Luv _1, and just my name, which is Crystal Lynch.
Absolutely. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Follow us over on our second channel, Tru Heel Heat Sports. We got watch alongs. We got the new show over there, THHC, which is Tru Heel Heat Check, with myself and Chris G talking about all things NBA basketball. We had the live chat yesterday was roasting us for our preseason picks, where I was was god awful at predicting the Western Conference. We also talked about our mid-season picks and and MVP predictions, as well as when LeBron is going to break the scoring record. So check out Tru Heel Heat Check over on Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. Also check out twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming, where Chris G did some gaming last night, as well as we do our watch-alongs for Power Slap. Yes, we do a Power Slap watch-along. Not my choice.
Really?
Not my choice.
Oh
That
my
is
God.
Romeo.
Wow.
Not my choice. We are like one follower away from 100 followers over on Twitch. So go over there, follow us if you haven't already. And we
Damn it, Romeo.
Damn, Power Slap, guys.
Also got Blunt Impact every Thursday over there as well. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month. The Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship. We'll have predictions for NXT Vengeance Day tonight, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling's in a new beginning in Sapporo, as well as my Tru Heel Heat 211 post show with any news and notes that we didn't talk about on this show here. So check that out as well. But that brings us to a close on this edition of Tru Heel Heat. We want to thank everyone who was new, who joined us this week. We got Romeo says, "What a speech, Nate." Yes, indeed, that was quite the send off. And he says, "And proud of it." He's proud of his power slap. And we got Erica saying later, homie. She's also saying, "Tell me when it comes to the sitcom draft, we will let you know for sure." But for our special guest, Nate Milton, for Miss Krssi Luv, for the producer in the background, Baby Seth, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 211. Blood is not thicker than Sammy. We are signing off until next time.